Game over.
And what is up? Welcome back. It's Friday night. You're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy and my boy Brian. Brian, what is up, my dude?
Yo, Chris P. What the hell is going on, brother, man? How you doing today, man?
It's been good. It's been good. Everything's been all right. A little bit weird. I've been having a little bit of internet problems. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's in my area, but it's been coming in and out. We were trying to do some tests on it earlier. Can't really fix it. Been running some tests all the day, and yeah, I really don't know what to tell you, man. My server says it's from Monterrey, Mexico, and we do right now, as a matter of fact, I don't know who's out there listening yet, but they'll jump in, and I know they'll jump in the comments. Probably our boy Rob. Yo, what's up, Rob?
Rob, what's good?
Yo, Rob, do us a favor. Share, man. Share the live stream. Let people know what's up. If I'm not mistaken, the reason why we're probably getting some really bad internet in the area is probably because we have a pretty big tropical storm building, and it's going to be hitting Mexico probably by Sunday. So it'll be pretty wild. It'll be like hurricane style shit. Okay. So we don't know how bad it's going to get, but we're prepping, getting ready, getting all that stuff. If anything, we'll get some pretty crazy flooding. I know that Vegas had some crazy flooding with that storm that they had, yeah, it was crazy. I don't know if you saw the videos for that, but it was pretty wild.
I did.
But you know what? It makes me feel good. You didn't see that? Oh, dude, it was wild, man. It was crazy how the flooding in Vegas was. Yeah, it was real crazy how Vegas was. But as a matter of fact, crazy that Rob said it. I said that I was having internet problems. He said he has the same here, so I'm guessing it's something in our region. But thank you guys for tuning in. If your internet's slow, we apologize. If my internet is slow and shit's jumping, I apologize. I'm going to crack some dude's skulls at Spectrum. You watch me. I'm going to chuck them because our show needs to keep going on and on and on. That's all I know. But Brian, how was your week?
Yo, it was great. It was I know I'm lying. It was long and grueling, but you know what? It's all worth it because now it's the weekend and I get to talk some nerd shit with you. And listen, I know Rob's in here. I want to know before we even get into it, because this should be like at the top of the list of things to talk about.
Talking point.
I want to know what everyone thinks about the Dragon Ball superheroes movie. I want to know what you guys thought about that movie. I want you guys to rate it 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. Okay, cool. We'll keep that in, and we're going to be talking about it too on the show today for sure. So we're going to give it its own opportunity, but of course we want for people to put it in the comment section. Let us know what you guys thought. It's very good that way, just so you guys keep us up to date and you guys keep us knowing what you guys are thinking. Brian, so how was your you weren't with us last week. You had some family situation. I hope you guys are doing a lot better. Shout out to your daughter. I love that picture you guys took on the pier. That was gorgeous. I thought that was so cool. Beautiful stuff. That's a memory photo, dude. I don't know who took it for you, but that was solid, man.
All right, so quick story. I have a friend that is a business owner. He has his own empanada spot, which fantastic empanadas, by the way. And nice. He was down at this lake that's maybe like about an hour from my house, and so I went out there with my daughter. I took last Friday off because my daughter was going through some personal issues, and so we just had some daddy-daughter time. And the next day we went out to this lake, and we had a fantastic time. It was a wakeboarding contest, and my boy was serving empanadas at this event, and we had a great time. So the picture that you're talking about, he actually took, and it's one of my favorite pictures that I have ever. It's just really,
it's beautiful. Yeah. Much deserved. That was
yeah. So it was.
To frame up.
Yes. So I do appreciate him for taking that. But we had a fantastic time. It was a great weekend. How was listen, I watched back the show. You had an amazing show with like fuck me. Like you guys had an amazing show, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought on a friend of mine. You know, we have situations like this, and we always do shout outs to our friends to hopefully give us the opportunity to interview them when we have time and when they have time, of course. And I brought on a really good friend of mine, Jeremy, and one friend at art school. Stuff, and we got in here and we talked some really cool stuff. I was really appreciative. He had his own insight on a lot of the things. He's kind of like me. He's a little bit jaded when it comes to some of these things, but it's because of the way that we hold these companies up to a certain par that we want them to be able to deliver. So very good show. Had a great time with him. Shout out to Jeremy if you're out there listening. Thank you so much for jumping in with us. I have a couple of other people that I really want to bring in. I have a friend of mine named Josh Machado. He also runs his own YouTube channel where he does some nerd talking and stuff like that too. A couple of my other friends, of course, we usually have like Michael Bedencourt, JD Ellis, and chill out with us when we have time and when they have time. But yeah. Hi, Christella. Hope everything's well. That's Christella's mom from Pennsylvania. That's where she lives. So
Hi, Christella.
what's up? What's up? But yeah, I do apologize if my camera or my audio sounds a little bit weird. We are getting some crazy weather, not right now, but it will be coming this weekend. But Mexico's getting it, and the servers and stuff like that in the valley come from some of the regions over there. So, Brian, anything cool in the news, casual that you listen to? I think we have a couple of cool talking points today. We're going to be doing some reviews. Of course, we're going to be talking about a certain someone today. You got anything going on?
Honestly, again, it's just been a long week. I'm just glad that it's the weekend. And honestly, you know what? I will take this time to I want to engage with everyone that said it. So Rob said that he fucking loved the movie. And we're talking about the Dragon Ball superheroes movie.
Yeah.
He said that he loved it. It was a 10 out of 10. Rob, I you know what? I've realized that you and I just have different tastes in movies and shows because this movie, I'm sorry, Rob, I'm sorry. This movie was a 3 out of 10.
Oh wow! And you know what's crazy? I told you that my friend Alex gave it a low score, but he barely gave it a 7. He was like, it was all right, like 7. And he was like, I wonder if Brian's gonna like this movie. But
I did not like this movie. All right.
Should we jump into it?
We honestly we have to jump into it because like I can't contain this. I can't contain this at all. Like it's like jumping, it's like seeping. So everyone in the chat, in the comments, you guys know how much I love Dragon Ball Z. Like this is my thing. Like I got into anime because of Dragon Ball Z. This movie, so for those who don't know, there's a thing in the Dragon Ball Z community where we all were expecting Gohan, the son of Goku, to become like the next best thing, right? He was supposed to be like the next up and coming Saiyan to carry on the show, for instance, right? And so when I found out that this movie was supposed to kind of correct any wrong that happened in the past, it didn't do that. It didn't do that. I dare one person in the comments to tell me that Piccolo did not outshine Gohan in this movie.
Oh, for reals?
Piccolo outshined Gohan.
That's rough, man.
Let me just say that again. Piccolo outshined Gohan in this movie. And I cannot stand Piccolo. Rough. I can't stand Piccolo.
That's like the Yamcha feeling. I tell people about it all the time. I just want it to be where like Hirikoshi or his son comes out and just like fucking has Yamcha just come and tank everyone in one comic or manga and just be like, I fucked with you all along. I was the greatest fighter. I just let you guys think you were good. And like have him just like Broly at everyone with his Fang Fist or whatever, Wolf Fang Fist or Krillin. Like it's wild, man.
this movie was so wild, right? You had to sit out the major hitters. So the major hitters. All right. So all right, are we full blown
Straight,
spoiler?
yeah, we're straight, guys.
Are we
We're
in it?
talking Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Superhero. It was a film that was released 2 days ago. If you're not really into Dragon Ball Z or into animes and you're not into watching them in theaters, you're probably not going to see this movie because it'll be in Funimation or it'll be in Adult Swim in like 4 months, 5 months.
And you guys
So,
can definitely wait. I promise you, you can definitely wait for this movie.
yeah.
So
From what I was told,
okay.
is if you've seen the Cell Saga, you've seen this movie.
Okay. So
'Cause
yes.
it's pretty much the same story.
So it's basically the same. I can't even say that because it comes out of nowhere. It's not even written correctly to where Cell is introduced, or Cell 2.3 or 2.4, whatever you want to call them, is even introduced in a really good way. And I'm even able to bypass that. That's fine.
Oh, shit.
It's the fact that this movie is supposed to resurrect whatever bad feelings you may have had with Gohan in his past, and it just doesn't do that. Like, this is a Gohan movie, and Gohan is a bitch in this movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I heard. No, you're absolutely correct. I actually heard that it was supposed to be like his redemption film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And if that is what you call a redemption film, all right. So just off the bat, the threat of the movie is nothing more than something that Vegeta could handle by himself.
Oh, fuck.
Vegeta could handle this by himself, no problems. But you have to sideline Vegeta and Gohan. And Broly is actually in the movie, but you have him sideline. Yeah, you have him sideline watching Vegeta. It's so wild. So let me ask you a question. If you had money to put on who could win in base form, Goku or Vegeta, who would you put your money on?
Baseball?
Base form.
Oh, baseball. I just said baseball. I was like, oh god.
Base form,
like being no Super Saiyan, no nothing.
No Super Saiyan, no nothing. Just
Vegeta.
Really?
Yeah. The reason why is because Goku grew up as the child of a farmer.
Yeah.
So and then learning, of course, like Chinese kung fu, Tai Chi Chuan, or whatever it was, the style of martial arts he learned. Wushu, let's just say Wushu, because that's how they say kung fu in China, or karate. But Vegeta was grown as like a Spartan, like a soldier from birth, like do like a soldier's job. You know what I mean?
Then why? So why?
I guess well, because one of them is based more on the class in China. I know I'm probably breaking up already.
I mean, I understand that. Yeah, I heard you, and I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, Vegeta's whole plot is to catch up to Goku. Period. Like, there's no other. Like, that's it. So when they fight, I was surprised when at the end of the movie, Vegeta. So you're right. Vegeta did beat Goku in a hand-to-hand combat and base form, and beat him up.
Really?
I was surprised. I was surprised about that.
But that's just me talking as a martial arts instructor, right? So like with me, like fight, combat, and all this stuff, like I've grown up around it all my life. So I teach people how to do mixed martial arts. I've taught karate. I've taught forms. I've taught, for championships. And then I teach boxing, kickboxing, and MMA. I teach all of that individually.
Okay.
So trying to break down in the sense of like a fighter and stuff like that. Training is more of an athletics, where Vegeta's training is more specific for tactical combat. Like it's made specifically for.
But I don't agree with that at all. His whole goal is to be better than Goku.
Someone who just did like karate as a. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like he's always like behind him and everything. But that's when you
the
power set of him having more energy.
It's not even the fact of him being behind him. It's like that's his driving force. In order for Vegeta to become a better Saiyan, he has to be better than Goku. Like
Oh,
it's not.
no, no, okay. You're talking about like his development.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
it's not even about him being a great fighter. No, I'm not saying
No,
that.
no.
I
You're
like
not talking about like the combat of
yeah, I love Vegeta, but his whole
it. Like, yeah,
his whole
yeah.
point in being
Shtick.
in
Like
the
his whole
his
theme.
whole theme is
The TV show,
is
the whole goddamn show. Yeah.
I have to be better than Goku because
Yeah.
he is so badass and so god tier. I have to be better than
Well,
him.
that's what gives value to the ending speech when he's fighting the dude in Super, and Vegeta's, he puts all that to him and stuff. Right? Sorry about that. I don't know if I'm still like going back to what I was saying. Let me see if I can get this in real quick. That's what gives value to the speech that Vegeta gave in Super when he was sitting on the sidelines and Goku is still fighting Jiren. And he's like, "You're gonna do it because I'm your king, and you're gonna listen to your king, and you're my greatest like asset." Like Vegeta, there's a part of him that he just knows. Like he just knows that Goku will always transcend him.
Yeah,
and that's why he has complete faith in his ability to win. And he just knows, like, I'll never reach that, so all I can do is cheer for it. Like, thank God it's on my side now. You know what I mean? I guess that's the easiest way to put it.
yeah, no. I definitely understand what you're saying, and I trust me. I love Vegeta. I really do. But when it comes to him versus Goku, it's kind of like a no-brainer. Like I don't even think, even in base form at this point, that Vegeta. I've seen Goku go. I've seen him go instinct. I've seen him go like just batshit crazy, and I don't see how Vegeta can beat that. I don't see that.
Yeah. So what happens in that sense? Like what leads up from that?
No, that's like actually the end of the movie. It's like you have the story with Gohan and Piccolo and everyone that's involved. And then at the end, you go back to the fight that was basically going on this entire movie, which was Beerus and Whis wanted Goku and Vegeta to fight in base form and to see who wins. And Broly is sitting there watching whoever wins he has next type of deal.
Wow.
But by the end of the movie, they're both so dead tired that you can't see Broly fighting either one of them after this fight. Like they just like tired themselves out, and
That's
Vegeta
trash,
and Vegeta wins. Yeah.
But what does that have to do for this?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm
Nothing.
confused.
Nothing. It had
Yeah,
nothing.
I'm
Nothing.
confused.
So I call, you know what? In the middle of this movie, I called it a side mission. Like this movie is a side mission movie, bro. Like it's one of those like GTA side missions where it really doesn't have an effect on anything at all, other than the fact that now we know that Gohan can turn Ultra Instinct on a whim, which came out of fucking nowhere.
So tell me about that. So how does that come to fruition where like, so I know that the Red Ribbon Army is back.
Yes.
They have some like superhero alien dudes that look like Piccolo. They come around and they fight and they got weapons, they got guns. And so what's the whole thing about? I don't even know what the whole movie's about.
So the Red Ribbon comes back, and they're wreaking havoc. They have two androids that aren't really good androids at all. But the two androids are with the team that are harboring are harvesting a brand new cell. So
From the Cell Saga. Oh shit.
From the Cell Saga, yeah.
Oh wow.
So a new cell is being bred basically, and so midway through the movie, the two androids decide that they no longer want to be bad. They want to be good now, just on a whim. They just want to be
17 and 18 all over again, or what?
Yeah, they just want to be good. So now they're on the good side. And then next thing you know, they are all fighting, Bulma included. Everyone's fighting this cell. So you have Bulma, Piccolo, the 2 androids, Krillin, Gohan, Goten, the fat Gotens, and they're all fighting this Cell 2.4 or 2.3, whatever the fuck you want to call them, right? And it's just a fucking shit show. Meanwhile, Gohan, the main character of this movie, is getting trashed the entire movie. It only takes until fucking Piccolo damn near dies. He basically damn near dies. And that enhances
His greatest gift.
Yeah, that enhances Gohan to go Ultra Instinct on a snap of a dime, and he took care of everything else.
There's no training montage. There's no like.
Nope.
He just does it.
Nothing.
Wow,
Krillin.
Shit on Goku's adventure, right? Like it's. Look, just to be clear,
Just saying, bro.
I think DBZ is kind of like in the same process as Marvel, where the franchise has seen better days.
Yeah.
In recent years, like the Super with Jiren was a really, really great series. I just don't know what else they could do, recycling the same characters over and over again. I mean, they had to go all the way back and bring Broly back to turn him into a good guy to get some kind of story and make Broly a regular dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there when Broly was just this wild ass legendary Super Saiyan enemy dude that just wanted to start Goku's face.
Yeah.
Like now they're like best friends and Broly's just a
They're not all right. So I think even in the short amount of time that Broly was in this movie, I think it was very abundant that Broly is not really friends with them. Like he, as a Saiyan, he respects them. So he's learning to train with them and he's learning to be a Saiyan, but he doesn't really fuck with them at all.
So he's like the Edward Cullen, Twilight.
Yeah.
Real like, let me put my bangs in my face, My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, I just want to train to get better, but at the end of the day, I'm better than them. Like they can't lace my shoes. And
nice. So he's got like an arrogance to him.
He's got that arrogance. Like he's sitting there the entire time watching them just battle, and he's sitting like, yo, I can fuck either one of them up at any given moment.
No, okay, all right, I could be about that a little bit, but it sucks that they put him for such a little bit of time.
Yeah, they weren't the focus. They were the backstory. Like they were that was an explanation as to why this. All right, so this Cell would have been no match for Vegeta.
At
or
Goku,
form. At base form, at Goku at base form, at Broly at base form. But you gotta remove them from the movie because it's got to be about Gohan.
About them, man.
And it didn't hit for me at all.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, what about the animation style? Was that a good
animation? Animation was it's different from everything else that we know about Dragon Ball Z. So it was more of the movie style. If you know what I'm talking about, like when you watch a Dragon Ball Z movie, there's a different type of animation.
Yeah, it's a lot more cleaner. You can tell that they put some cash behind it.
Exactly. So you can tell they put some cash behind this one. But that's it. Like other than that, I don't have anything.
But was the animation style like? Did you prefer this one to the stuff before?
No,
like, I actually this one was more like a CG, almost like a video game.
Yeah,
like art. Right?
Yeah, this one was very polished. There was a lot of money spent, but I kind of like that raw,
old school
vibe. Like that's what I grew up on. So like I loved when, you know, at the end of the Tournament of Power, where you had the old school style for like at least 5 episodes. I love that shit. This, you have a very polished thing that the story just didn't hit for me at all.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. So I know I'm not selling it the best for you. Would you be interested to see this movie so that we can talk about it next week?
I mean, yeah, like I'd go watch it just to watch it, but I think it's one of those things, like you said before in the show, where it's more like a streaming show than a movie.
Okay.
From what I've heard from many people, where it's like in the realm of sitting like in a 7 I feel like this could have been like a really good knockout of the park if it was like a, yo, we're gonna debut a full length feature Dragon Ball Z film on Crunchyroll or Funimation. You know, join our service, check us out because we need to compete with all the other streaming services that have movies and all this other stuff that are all new and coming out. We can't constantly be like, let me wait for Japan to release some shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would have been a really good thing if they would have worked with Funimation or if they would have worked with Akira Toriyama and been like, yo, let's do a debut, voice actors included, all streaming. They could pay $10 to watch the movie here on the streaming service at their home, just like HBO Max or just like Netflix or Disney Plus when they want to watch the film. I think this would have been it.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't that, and it definitely didn't hit for me personally. And listen, I know a lot of people, a lot of Goku fans are gonna lie to themselves and think like this movie is great. But even if you are a Gohan fan, like they did Gohan no favors in this movie.
Yeah, they
whatsoever.
did him dirty. From what I heard, they did him dirty. So what do you think, man? Do you think this is like a failing action in the Dragon Ball Z series?
No, I just think like they set out to try to recapture whatever Gohan love was out there, but whoever made this movie doesn't understand the fans. Because if that was the case, because I went into this movie thinking, oh my god, they're gonna try to force Gohan on me now after me wanting him to be the next Super Saiyan.
Yeah, the savior, the hero,
savior,
the Superman,
right? Like,
the Superman of this world. Let his dad retire and take over.
You basically took that away from me, and now you're gonna just try to like shove him down my throat. Pause. And they didn't even do that right. They couldn't even get that right. I was fully ready to come on here today and say, you know what? They did it correctly. They did it well. I'm Team Gohan, but I can't even say that, bro. Like I can't even say that.
Yo, I have to ask this then. I have to ask this. Did they do it? Did they do better justice or did they do worse than the way he was represented in Resurrection?
Okay. So the best I was thinking about this on the way home. Like as I'm driving, I'm trying to think about what to talk about when we talk about this movie here. And the best, all right. So you can easily say that this movie was solely about Gohan and his evolution. I think he even had a better evolution at the Tournament of Power than he had in this movie. Like he had a better evolution then than he did in this movie.
Yeah,
1000%. I don't even think it's close, to be honest with you. Like he cooked in the Tournament of Power, and here he wasn't. He was still like the geeky nerd guy that had something happen to him that made him Hulk out, basically.
That's so weird. I was
damn.
Was okay. I think Resurrection when he comes out and he has his badass tracksuit and he has his glasses on and he's all kind of like, you know, he's more adult. Yeah. He's away from like the whole fighting thing. I really think that was a really badass version of Gohan. And I thought that would be a very good growing point for the character. Like he kind of gets more involved after Resurrection because the return of Frieza.
Okay,
and
but
Power,
like, how do you mess up going? Like, if that's your starting point, right? If that's your rock bottom and that's the rock bottom for a lot of Dragon Ball fans for Gohan. Like, that's your rock bottom. How do you fuck that up? Like, you can only go up.
I mean, you just made him really just trying to fight, like, I don't know, like fucking Captain America. Like, you just made him like Captain America strong in that film.
Yeah.
Shit that they did that to this character. Because I was really hyped for this. We were talking about this for weeks. And we thought it was going to be good. We saw the trailers. It looked pretty cool. Like, so where do we go from here with Dragon Ball? Do you think they end up doing like a Broly movie?
Again, this was just a side mission. Like, I'm fine with whatever they do moving forward. This was definitely just them trying to to get off their Gohan itch for some fans, and for some fans it worked. For some fans, they're gonna lie to themselves and say that Gohan was great in this movie, but he wasn't. I would be the first person to come in here and be like, you know what, I was wrong. What they decided to do with Gohan in this movie was fantastic, but I can't even say that. Like, I want to say that, but I can't even say that, bro.
Yo, I was really expecting you to be like, I was expecting this film to like blow you out of the water kind of
I have been waiting for at least a month and a half for this movie.
Yeah, because I know how big of a fan you are.
So
I have been like, dude, Brian's gonna get a movie. Yeah.
I was waiting to come in here today just to like fanboy and be like, because I know Dragon Ball gets a lot of flack. I know it, people don't consider it anime, or they don't consider it like real anime or whatever, but like,
yeah, it's like the older style,
exactly.
Like,
So like I fully wanted to come in here and just be like, you know what, this is one of the best things ever. And honestly, I can't say that.
You can't even
I can't even say that, bro. Like, it is what it is. If you're even if you're a Gohan fan, I can't see how you wouldn't enjoy this movie. This movie made him look like a bitch. This movie was like 2 hours long. Yeah. They made him look like a bitch for like an hour and a half. And then like the last 30 minutes, he was a G.
Okay.
Like, that's how it was.
At the end, he ends up getting something. Oh, well, he gets the power up and all that shit, right?
That's it. Out of nowhere, he gets the power up. He bypasses all of the other Saiyan levels that we know and hold dear to us. He bypassed all that and went straight to instinct, and we're just supposed to pop. Now, again, I have some friends with me that popped because they just love Gohan, but like, come on, dude. Like, the reason why we pop, why Goku turned instinct, is because we were waiting for that. Like, that was built.
You see the glow up. You see
like
him train. You see him push.
Yeah, you built you built up to that.
Yeah,
Gohan didn't earn that.
Similar. He's at a new level. He just put him out.
Yeah, I was super confused by Gohan's glow up really quick, and I was super confused by Vegeta beating Goku in a basic form hand-to-hand combat. I was extremely confused by that.
I think the only thing that would confuse me on that is just why. Like,
exactly.
Why would that be necessary for them to show who's better at anything? Like, you spent an entire series explaining to me that Goku needed to learn to let go, be 100% himself, and then he was going to be like this ultimate power, Ultra Instinct. Boom, right? Yeah. And then they take him all the way back to his base, and they're like, "Hey, well, have you guys ever just like boxed it out with like gloves in the yard? Like, here's some gloves. Like, just fight here." And don't change or anything, like don't scream or nothing, just body blows or whatever. Yeah, body blows or whatever. Like, you're kind of like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, why is this even a thing? Like,
we were taking bets like in the crowd, like we were taking bets on who was gonna win. Like, I lost because I felt as though like there's no way you're gonna tell me that Vegeta in base form can beat Goku, but apparently he can.
Well, for me, the only reason why I would assume that is because I'm thinking like a combat guy. Like, I'm thinking of a combat specialist. Like, I'm not thinking about the story or the character's development or his like.
But Goku has fought the best. Like, he has fought the best of the best. Mm-hmm. So his hand-to-hand, even in base form, is like superior, bro. It's superior. There's no one that could beat him in a hand-to-hand combat. Like, that's our guy. That's our hero. There's no way in a hand-to-hand combat he loses to fucking Vegeta, who his whole fucking storyline is to catch up to this guy.
Well, I mean, the only way that I could kind of say, like, let's base it off of something else, like outside of the franchise, would be Superman versus Batman with no powers. Who do you think would win?
So you're asking me if Superman was a regular person,
regular human being, no powers, like he's just deep out Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, just like an MK.
That's not a fair fight, because Bruce Wayne would still be a millionaire or a billionaire. So he would still have like he has all
the combat experience, and
not only that, but he's still a fucking billionaire. So even if even if he wasn't a hand-to-hand martial artist, he would still be able to buy gadgets.
Well, no. I'm talking about just knuckling up. No powers, no buying extra equipment, no buying extra things. Just them like, hey man, like let's just throw some hands here in the Fortress of Solitude. I'll turn off my powers like I did in the old movies. Superman or Bruce Wayne versus Clark Kent. Oh, you know what? Muhammad Ali versus Superman in a boxing match, no powers. Fucking Muhammad Ali beat the shit out of Superman that one time.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the only way I can kind of like that's the mentality that I have, that if you think about it, like Goku loves training as a sport.
Yeah.
So you look at it in the sense of like a sports athlete, right? Like a sports competitive boxing athlete. That would be the difference between, okay, in the MMA world. Are you pretty familiar with some of the MMA guys?
Yes.
You look up, you say, okay, who do you think would win? Like a Conor McGregor or Tim Kennedy?
I mean,
you see, that's kind of hard because Tim Kennedy's like fucking huge compared to Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Like he's just bigger. But Tim Kennedy's also like a military vet, special forces. Like he knows like some really, really, prestigious stuff. And Conor McGregor likes to fight, like box, kickbox.
He just wants to fight.
He just likes to fight. Yeah. In that situation, you're gonna then look at all the acquired skills of combat. You're gonna start breaking it down to experience his strategy, how he uses the weapons that he has available, which are just his hands and feet.
I'm different, like very different. So like the reason why I love Conor McGregor and the reason why I would always put money on Conor McGregor is because he believes he could win that fight. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, he's fucking confident. Yeah, dude.
Like, he believes he's going to win that fight.
His millionaire mentality's on edge, dude. His secret edge, like he's on edge.
That he's going to win in a spectacular fashion. So I am attracted to that. Like I believe in that. I will always be a Conor McGregor fan, no doubt about it.
Good stuff. Yeah, for me, it's just I always think of like the baseline, like what skills have they acquired, what experiences they have, and what experiences they've gone through to how they're going to strategize their weapons.
That's the X factor when it comes to MMA. You can have whatever skill set you have. If you get punched the right way.
That's anybody. Yeah, that's anybody. That's the idea of knowing how to strike correctly and know where to put it, and the strategy of knowing how to move and walk around on your feet and all that.
Or not even that, like just landing a lucky punch. Sometimes I've seen people that are getting their ass kicked. Yeah, I just seen people get their ass beat for fucking 2 rounds, and then that 3rd round just catch a lucky strike, and then that changes the aspect of the whole fight, bro.
Oh, that's literally when you had Khabib fight Conor McGregor, and he went in with that weird roll in and threw like a weird overhand.
Khabib is different.
Caught him out of nowhere. Well, yeah, he's just a very unorthodox striker. He's a very unorthodox striker, but his wrestling is his fucking money. And then when he gets on top of you, he just grinds the fuck out of you.
No, he will definitely have you on the mat for a full round, just tiring you the fuck out.
Tiring you out. Just rides you.
That's it.
That's the mentality of like the pencil eraser, where you just take your pencil and you put the eraser on the mat and you just keep rubbing it until it disappears. Mm-hmm. Like you could tear the eraser right off of the pencil and be done with it, but you're literally taking your time to fuck that eraser up. Mm-hmm. That's what Khabib does. Like he just grinds the fuck out of you.
I'm so mad that he retired. Like I miss that guy. Like he was my favorite fighter.
Yeah, it's a good move. He retired at the very top. He's in the process of creating his own MMA organization out of where he lives in Scandinavia or whatever.
No, he has it. He's got a few.
The Eagle, Eagle MMA or Eagle, Eagle Fights or something like that. He's been doing pretty well. I mean, he's a fucking icon over there. So he's the Conor McGregor over there in his line. But Conor is still a fucking beast, though, man. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Conor ever make his return?
Return to what though? Like I don't know what his return to would be. Like I don't think at this point, and it was so weird to watch. And I've said this multiple times with friends. It was great watching Conor McGregor come up from nothing.
Yeah.
And then watching that hunger mature into him becoming a champ, and then watching
sure
him,
will, dude.
and then watching him be that champ, and then just kind of lose that. I don't want to say lose the hunger. He just went up against better fighters. Like Khabib is a better fighter than him.
Well,
Like
he also suffered from the Mike Tyson curse, where he saw like the money, he saw all the fame and all that.
See, I was trying not to say that. I was trying not to use that as a crutch.
No, it's not a crutch. It's true. We say it all the time in the sport. Like we all know it because it happens to a fuckload of fighters.
But no,
but
see, like, but like when you say that, that kind of like takes it, kind of like devalues his opponents. Like he went up against some really tough opponents of those matches that he lost. Like,
oh, most definitely, yeah. He went after those at the peak of his career.
Yeah,
you know, because he had the cream of the crop to choose from. Yeah. Like he could say whatever he wanted. They would have let him fight fucking Rose Namajunas if he wanted to. If he just wanted, let's like Henry Cejudo doesn't get that chance. Yeah. And Henry Cejudo was a 2-time champion. He carried 2 belts and dominated everybody. Henry Cejudo through and through, even these fucking 2 feet tall, you know, 112 pounds or whatever the fuck he is. Like he's a fucking animal. He is like the best of the best. And then you have someone like John Jones, who apparently is going to be coming back in like December.
Watch your mouth. Because I don't even like the disdain you said that with. Like, that's the GOAT. All right.
Well, yeah, R. Kelly movement, man. He could be the GOAT of all this shit.
Why would you fucking associate fucking R. Kelly movement and fucking John Jones, bro?
We all know the dude can fight, but he doesn't know how to act and fucking can't control his shit and gets in trouble all the time.
But that's a little excessive, like comparing him to fucking R. Kelly, though.
Yeah, well, I mean that's just the moment. That's the understanding from the Boondocks that I know.
Like that's
we all know he can win fucking Academy Award or Oscars or what are they called?
I just got finished having an argument because I know he's coming back. And
argument? Why would you argue about it? I mean, he's the best thing that ever blessed
the
sport.
Of the same type of comments like what you made. So I have a friend. He's supposed to be coming back for Mikak or Michix, whatever the fuck his name is, right? The champ. He's supposed to be coming back for the champ or whatever. And my friend was like, "Don't put your money on John Jones because he's been away for so long." I don't give a fuck how long. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how long he's been away from.
Yeah.
Like the dude is God tier. Like I would never put money against John Jones. Like
straight.
Ever.
All you got to do is ask your friend, "What do you think John Jones is doing right now?"
What do you think he's been doing for the past like 5 years, bro? Like,
think he's at home playing Street Fighter and fucking playing Fortnite? No, dude. He's in the gym, cracking pads, sparring with people, fucking people up still, doing what he does. It's just what he does.
Isn't that weird?
Back, he's gonna dominate.
Isn't that weird that like when he is a competitor, you see a lot more of him and a lot more of what is going on with him as opposed to when he's not a competitor? Like since he's been not a competitor, you ever heard anything from him? You don't know what he's doing, you don't know where he's training, you don't know what the fuck he's doing. I give no idea what is he doing.
He's training. He's still training at Jackson Wings. He's there. I have a friend of mine. I have one of my students that trains there.
But that's not weird though. Like I don't want to say weird, but like that's not weird that you know, when he is a competitor, like you hear his every movement, but now that he has been suspended for a year or two and you hear nothing from him.
Yeah.
He's just doing what he does. He's training and he's going to come back and beat somebody's fucking ass, bro. That's exactly what he's going to do.
I mean, the one guy that I think they want him to fight is what's that guy's name with the 2 N's? The big black dude that's like knocking dudes out all that came out on Jackass.
The African dude?
Yeah, dude, that guy's a fucking animal, but that's because they had no heavyweights in that division that could really challenge John Jones. I mean, dude, the rivaling was a fucking 5'8" Donald Cormier, you know, challenging a 6'3" fucking John Jones.
Cormier is the most overrated fucking heavyweight champ of all time, bro. I'm sorry.
But you know what? I'm not gonna fucking lie. He's no slouch though.
He's no slouch.
He knows his shit.
He's a slouch, bro.
Nah, dude, he knows his shit. If you've seen him coach, if you've seen him go out there and do shit, there alongside with Khabib, training alongside Khabib at AKA. Like,
He's got
know
like
stuff.
fucking like 50 pounds on fucking Khabib, bro.
No, but wrestling wise, like wrestling, he knows his shit. All his students that train in fucking wrestling, they all go to fucking national champions, state champions. He knows his stuff. He knows his fighting skills.
Ay,
But
man.
like, yeah, in the sense of like how he would apply it to combat, like he would throw people. He was like a rampage, like a new age rampage.
So
where
how
he
come
showed like a lot of his weakness.
So how come he didn't incorporate any of that against his fights against John Jones then?
Can't, man. John Jones is a fucking animal. You can. How do you do it when you're fighting a dude that's like 2 feet taller than you and can wrestle also?
His wingspan is insane, by the way.
It's stupid. Like the guy's just a fucking, like, dude. And then not only that, to know that this guy has the flexibility, has the fucking the range, the ability to strike, throws shit from all different angles because he's like a very open-minded fighter training out of Winks with Winklejohn. Like he's throwing just the randomest elbows upwards, back elbows, spinning elbows. He just fights. Like it's in his DNA to just fight. And you're taking a guy like Donald Cormier who had to train to become a fighter. So
I guess.
But John Jones, yeah, he's coming back, but just because he can fight, that does not give him a reason to be a piece of shit person. Like that's just my thing.
They're all pieces of shit. You don't think fucking what's the guy the Irish guy we were just talking about?
Conor McGregor?
You don't think he's a piece of shit?
Oh, Conor McGregor's a huge piece of shit. Yeah,
all right, so then they're all pieces of shit, bro. Like I think honestly, they're all pieces of shit. All MMA fighters are pieces of shit. But I don't agree. What makes what I saw Conor McGregor attack a fucking bus that
full of other fighters,
innocent people that got hit with shards of glass because he's wanted to throw the fight.
This was the thing that I said earlier that we called the Tyson curse.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that John Jones has done anything that egregious?
In what sense? Like just in general, or like
in general? You said
when he got in the car accident with the person and ran instead.
That's more okay. That's pretty fucked up.
Dude, and she was pregnant. Like okay, even taking out the idea that she was pregnant, he's still knowing that he's a millionaire or a fucking 100,000-aire at the max or whatever. He's a sports athlete that has money. He hit someone in a car, a civilian, a normal fucking person. And instead of taking responsibility for that shit, he ran because he was on coke. And he didn't want to get blood tested and fucking get hit with drugs and get arrested and all this shit. Where you have someone like fucking, what's his name? Cain Velasquez, who fucking tried to shoot a dude who was trying to fuck his kid, his 12-year-old kid. And he's spending time in jail.
That's like you cherry picking fucking one story against another. Like there's for every Cain Velasquez story, there has to be like a million other fuckhead MMA fighters. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't
associate all of them that they're all bad.
You can't cherry pick. I don't like the narrative that like he's made some mistakes.
Yes.
I can't defend that. But so have a lot of other MMA fighters that are still allowed to. He has had more than enough chances. That's where I draw the line. Is that he's had more than enough chances. But for you to call him a dickhead or a scumbag or whatever,
that's all he needs to do is just mature.
All right.
Yeah, he just needs to mature. That's my only thing about John Jones. Is do I want him back in the sport? The guy is dominating.
He's needed
a fucking
in that
force.
Sport, bro.
I mean, needed, yes, but that's like the Ezra Miller story. Like Ezra Miller needs to save the DC universe, but if he's
I don't need Ezra Miller in the DCU. I think John Jones in MMA is needed.
At this point, me, it's one of those things. Especially if you're out there, you don't have to, but a champion should act a certain way. You have a million people that watch you. And you have a platform, and you need to at least maintain some type of dignity if you want to be a king. Some type of dignity. And if you're allowing things like just those minor problems or whatever that he just has to apologize for. Like if that's what it takes, like just mature from it, like learn from it. Don't let it happen and then just do the same thing a week later. That's my biggest concern. I just want John Jones to mature. Do I want him in the sport? Does the sport need him? I mean, where else are you going to put a guy like that? Like, are you just going to let him go home and play Fortnite? Like, no, dude, you don't put that guy like working at Walmart. You don't put him fucking, working at a restaurant or a sports bar or teaching fucking karate at the local Boys and Girls Club or whatever. You don't do that stuff. He needs to go out there and finish his legacy.
Yeah.
He needs to go out there and solidify his legacy. And I mean, look at how hard life has been after the fight game for Mike Tyson, dealing with all of the issues from his legacy that was left behind, knowing that right now in his life, he's like, I wish I could go back and be better. Because you could see it where he wishes he could go back and not be that person.
Yeah. He's scared of the person that he is.
Yeah. And it took him to mature and to grow up and to be an adult male, a man, to say, hey, you know what? Like that part of me, I hated, but I couldn't control it.
No, I hate. Like you're saying that in past tense. Like he'll say it even today that part of him that he hates is still there.
Oh, it is.
Like,
yeah.
That's the part of him that's the reason why Mike Tyson will never be
happy,
social, or happy or comfortable in a big surrounding.
You know what's sad is that being someone who surrounds himself and is constantly in that genre of combat sports and things like that.
Yeah.
It's only the desire for that craving of violence that keeps you going in the sport. And
that was the only thing that kept him alive.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that inspired him to stay alive.
And now he's at a position in life where his body does not allow him to do that anymore.
But
now he can just sit in his own fruition.
But that's I think, and from what I've been seeing from him, is like that's like the worst thing that can happen to a guy like that is because he only knows one thing,
combat,
and that's combat, to punish, to hurt someone. That's all that he knows.
And now your weapon is too weak.
And now what you do is sit and talk on a podcast all day with people that you just, when you look at them, you probably just think about splitting their fucking nose open.
Because you know that they don't understand.
And they will never understand.
They ask the same questions over and over.
If you watch like highlights from a Mike Tyson hot boxing podcast, like he gets in like his deepest debates and like his most intense debates when someone is challenging how he feels about himself.
Yeah.
If he's sitting there and telling you, yo, I'm a piece of shit, your natural reaction is to be like, yo, champ, you're not a piece of shit. Yeah. But then he's going to be immediately combative and say, no, who the fuck are you to tell me I'm not a piece of shit? I know what goes on in my head. I'm a piece of shit. This is the way that I am, and this is the way that I'm built. Like I'm built to destroy shit. Like I only got enjoyment from destroying shit. Who are you to tell me I'm not a piece of shit?
Yep.
That's a weird conversation to have with somebody.
Oh yeah, of course. And then not only that, it's Mike Tyson sitting across from you, and you're arguing with him about him.
You don't want to say the wrong thing.
Himself,
you don't want to say the wrong thing when he's telling you he's a piece of shit. You might just want to be like, all right, bro, you're a piece of shit.
No, but the idea would the thing to tell him would be, but it took a bigger man to realize your faults and what you've become.
Yeah.
And that right there in itself is a journey and a battle all on its own.
And he would see that as a condescending comment. He will see that he will take that as a condescending comment, telling that you were telling him about himself.
Well,
I've seen it.
I'm agreeing with him.
I know. I've seen people try to agree with him, and it just does not come off the right way because, like, he is a very combative person. Yeah, like he's fucked up, bro.
He's self-hating. No, I mean he's self-hating in his old ways, and I was a really big. I was really against him like redoing like the whole fight game and doing the whole like the stem cell research to make him feel younger and the TRT that he took to fight Roy Jones Jr. I was really against it. And I've also been super against like all the him going on podcasts and drinking and smoking and doing all these things that they're just so easily available to him. And I don't know if you ever saw that he was on a podcast and he did like a whole like handful of shrooms. Like he
No,
just grabbed a bunch of shrooms and just fucking
no,
went at him.
he has his own podcast. It's
Yeah,
called
yeah, the hot box.
Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and
Yeah.
he did that on his show. And to shout out Rob, yes,
He's got
there
a
is
show
a
coming up on
Tyson.
Hulu.
There's a Tyson series coming up on Hulu. I have been debating whether or not I want to boycott it because Tyson said that they basically stole the life rights for him, but that shit looks fucking good. So I might just
You might
might
just
just
watch it
have
just to watch it.
I might just have to watch it, bro.
I might
Like,
just
yeah.
fire stick it so I don't give it the
Yeah, I
money.
might just have to. I might have to fire stick that shit. That
Just
shit
so I
looks
don't have to
fucking.
give it money.
That shit looks fucking good, bro.
Yeah, I was really against him doing that kind of stuff because it's got to be so psychologically hard for a person like that to maintain that type of composure nowadays.
He
Like,
doesn't,
especially when he's a bit younger, right? When he was a little bit young, it's probably way
he
harder.
doesn't. The kid, I think it was what a couple months ago. The kid on the plane that was taunting him.
Oh yeah, but he handled that very fucking well.
No, he didn't.
Like
He
for
punched,
being Mike Tyson, he handled that very fucking well.
he still ended up punching the kid in the face.
He still handled that very well. Like if that was Mike Tyson, like fucking 12 years ago,
He would have killed him.
in a plane, like midair, fucking violence, bloody, like a Rottweiler attack in a fucking kid's room or whatever.
But now he's gonna have to fucking donate a wardrobe to this guy because he could not keep his cool on the airplane. Like
Yeah,
this
but
is the
but
this is
after
the
they
person.
released the footage of the guy, you could see how arrogant that guy was for picking
not-
Mike Tyson that way.
I'm not blaming Mike at all.
Yeah.
I just think that he I don't understand how so the play for him, what it looks like, the play for him is to make a lot of money and to live off of his likeness, but he doesn't like people though. So how do you do that though?
He's
like
very
how do you
he's very solo isolated. He'd
He
rather
doesn't
be
like
isolated
people.
and very like unsocial and stuff like that. Because he knows he knows the type of person he is.
Okay.
And he knows the evils that he'll fall back into. There's this one story that he tells people, of course, of a situation that happened with his daughter, where she passed away in an accident, a really crazy, horrible accident.
Yeah.
And he's like, I live every day as a good man in respects to my child. Like, and I respect that. And I know how hard it is for a person like that to do that.
Mhm.
I've met people like that in this sport where they just choose violence for every situation and at every dick and cranny. And you probably met shingles of them too, man, where you live, where you just know that they're people you don't want to have around in social environments because you know they're way too rowdy.
Yeah.
And it's one of the dudes that you always look at and you're like, man, dude, did you have to do that, bro? Like we were having a good time. You're like, we're having a good time. But all they've done is they taught that guy how to fight like a fucking animal. You know what I mean? Like they just clean that dude up and turn him into a fucking diamond. And that's what Mike Tyson is. Like he's that dude. But that's why I say, like, for him to acknowledge that the person he was and the thing that he hates the most is like the biggest piece of shit in his life and he hates it. And like every day is an acknowledgement of making it better is a journey and a whole fight on its own for him. Like that alone is respectable. That for a man like that alone is respectable. I mean, you have no idea how much joy I got from seeing him and Evander Holyfield make like a comedy video, like hanging out together and making fun of the whole situation that happened between them two back in that fight. Like them to recollect and for Mike Tyson to come to fruition and apologize and really wholeheartedly want to make himself into a better person.
I will never forget that fight. I actually watched that fight live, and well, they had two fights, but the second fight, I watched that shit live, and wow. Like
Yeah, dude,
I remember as a teenager watching that fight,
young man,
and just being bewildered as to what, because that fight people have been looking for since like the 80s. Like people have been looking for Evander Holyfield because that before. So a lot of people don't understand the Buster Douglas fight was supposed to be a tune-up fight for Tyson for
Tyson
Evander
after prison.
Holyfield in 89 or 88, 89, whichever year that was. And people had been anticipating that fight, and Evander Holyfield was on fire back then.
Oh yeah,
And so was Tyson. So a lot of people were anticipating that fight, and then when Tyson lost that fight to Buster Douglas, it just fucked everything up.
Yeah, it took the momentum away.
Yeah, it fucked everything up. He went to jail like a year later. So there was no, and then when he got out, he had to build himself back up, and then that's when we got the Evander Holyfield fight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this Hulu documentary because they're gonna get into a lot of shit.
They're gonna dig into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They're gonna shine a lot of that story, man. But yeah, man, Mike Tyson. His the reason why we call it the curse is because you have this let's say kid off the streets, grew up poor, dirt poor, and you teach him how to fight and he can make a couple $100 with his hands. And at the very beginning, you could see that passion. You could see the desire for them to be like, dude, I'm going to win because I could see myself, making money, getting the pretty ladies and making money for my family and buying cool stuff. They see the goal, they see the action, they see the money and things. And then they get all the way up and they get there and they get the money and they get that stuff. And the first thing they do is they blow it on all the materialistic stuff. They blow it on all the materialistic stuff. And then the first time that they lose 100,000, 150,000, like super fast in their bank accounts back in the hundreds, they start to freak the fuck out and they take whatever they can in the sense of any way to make that money back because they're either owing money or they're behind in something or the $100 million house that they own is about to get repoed and they need to make that cash. That's when the first sign of the curse shows is they start making mistakes because they start doing whatever it takes to make that money back, whatever it makes. And then when the stress starts coming and the parties are happening, it's the drinks, it's the drugs, it's the Hollywood lifestyle. And then eventually you hit rock bottom. You hit it to where everything, either you're going to go to jail or everything you have is going to be taken away from you and you're out in the streets. And you're out there and a lot of people always look past the idea of the disrespect that you give to your coaches in your gym. And then when you're on that moment and you're on the top and you're doing stupid shit and your coach is like, hey man, you're representing us also. And you're doing stupid shit. And then eventually your coach is like, hey, you know what? You're way too wild. You're taking us down with you and you're hurting the reputation of the gym. We're going to have to cut you. And they let him go. And when they hit rock bottom, the Diego Sanchez story, when he hit rock bottom, he had nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And the only thing he could do was call his old coach and cry and, hey, man, I'm really sorry for what I did. I was, in a bad place and a bad thing. And they were like, but we told you. Like, we were there. We were your friends that were telling you needed to slow down. Mm-hmm. That's the hard part, man. Like, John Jones is a great athlete. He's a fucking tremendous fighter. He's much needed for the sport. But there's been a lot of situation that the Winx camp is like, hey, man, we might have to cut you and let you go. You're going to go train somewhere else because you're representing us also. You're our champion. You're the face of this gym. And I mean, who wouldn't, right? Like, let's say anybody who wouldn't want to pick up John Jones as a student. Like, but who's going to want to do that in the middle of him, like being that problem child? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just rough. For him to mature would be a great story. It would have rough, man. Tyson's story was rough. His is a whole journey. And I love that, man. I think Mike Tyson is a saint. I think he's a beautiful human being. I hope that for the rest of his time on this earth, I don't know if my thing's breaking up.
Yeah.
I hope that on the rest of his time on this earth, he gets solitude and he finds happiness in all of this. Like he's able to find his calmness.
He never will. Like, and it's weird because like if he heard you say that, he will combat you on you giving him his flowers. And it's the weirdest thing. Like it's the weirdest thing to watch people continuously go on his show and try to give him his flowers and call him champ and say how you changed my life and how I remember watching you.
Yeah, and he'll be like, "I'm not the person to look up to.
I'm a piece of
Why
shit."
you-
He'll
yeah, why you
literally
looking up to a guy like me?"
he'll literally say, "No, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, don't look up to me." And then now you're in a situation where you're like, "No, don't say it. Like, you were my hero. Like,
Yeah.
don't say that about yourself." And he's like, "No, who the fuck are you to tell me not to say that about myself?" Alex, I went
What's up,
over
Alex, my dude?
I went over the movie. I want to know what you thought about the movie.
Yeah,
I
Alex,
will go
put in the
over it
comments, man.
again if you really want me to, but I want to know what you thought about the movie.
That's
sir.
awesome. But yeah, man, dude, I fucking didn't know we were gonna have a discussion about the great Mike Tyson and John
Tyson.
Jones. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
That's too high, Alex. Way too high.
oh, Brian, give it to him.
Way too high. Way too high. That's easily all right. So
Yeah, we talked a little bit of spoilers.
Yeah, we did talk about spoilers. So honestly, it has to be a 5 out of 10, only because the movie is supposed to be geared around Gohan, and Piccolo had a better arc or a better story in this movie. So there's no way I can give it a 7 out of 10. It's gotta be a 5 out of 10. I love Gohan, but dude, they did more harm than they did help in this movie.
I didn't get to ask, and I should have asked this. The fight scenes, were the fight scenes good?
No,
Like at least
there wasn't even any standout.
Ooh, that's harsh.
Fighting scenes. If I'm missing if anybody in the comments can tell me a standout fight scene, please let me know.
That's rough.
I don't even remember of a standout fight scene. I was just so bewildered that they went this route, and it's supposed to be a Gohan evolution movie, and Gohan gets the wackest evolution ever.
That's awesome. That's hardcore.
It's the weirdest fucking thing ever, bro. And the writing, forget about it. Forget about it. It's the most clunky, wacky shit you would have ever imagined. The first 10 minutes is a fucking snooze fest.
That's so bad.
The way they build up to where you get to in the movie when it first jumps off, it's so lame.
So he puts the best scene was hands down when the androids go full charge at Cell.
Yes, and that came out of nowhere. So again, we're not talking about Gohan. We're talking about an android that is like a second-hand character in this
He's not
movie.
even like a main character.
He's not even a main character. He just he starts off as a main character. He starts off as a bad guy, but then for some reason just decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm a good guy now. And then he just starts charging at Cell, and it is a pretty cool scene. But
so what would you give this?
I told you a 5 out of 10 at
Let's give
max.
that a good sound.
That's a good day. Like that's a good rating. 5 out of 10, bro.
5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Poor DBZ. Okay, well, going back, we got to talk about it just a little bit, but we talked about John Jones, which came out of complete nowhere.
Yeah.
But in the process of it, having the idea of not letting him, of course, he needs to answer for all the problems that he's caused.
He has,
and this goes into he has. He's done a lot of answering for that. He's been suspended for a very long time. Hopefully he gets his return. Hopefully he's matured a little bit from it.
He's been in jail.
Yeah, he's been in jail for a little bit.
Post
bail, got out of that, all that good stuff. But we do need to talk about people who get to get out of problems with privilege. And that being, I never bring up anything in the sense of like a race thing or someone being privileged by their color or their race or whatever. But man, I got to bring this fucking shit up because my conspiracy bones are noggin all over the place. So Ezra Miller, again, this motherfucker for the 9 billionth time in like, dude, this guy's got like a streak of great luck because he's broken so many laws. People have talked about him grooming children, kidnapping people, beating the fuck out of people, attacking civilians, fucking holding Hawaii hostage, like being fucking Eobard Thawne in this universe and being like the fucking evil Reverse Flash. We finally get a response. And this week, Ezra Miller apologized. Thank God he apologized. Brian, tell me what wacky fucking world I live in. that this got passed, and everyone's like, "Hey, it's good, guys." He apologized. The guys at WB is like, "Hey, guys, it's good. He apologized. It's okay. It's okay, guys." Tell me what the fuck we're dealing with here. That's that has to, man, dude. That's like the child of like a principal at a school, and he gets busted with drugs, and you see him in class the next day.
It's not even that, though. It's not even that. It's the fact that a statement was put out, which I'm almost positive it didn't come from the guy himself.
Oh no.
And we're just supposed to, all right. So let's remove ourselves, because we're not shit, right? We're not people. We don't mean shit on the grand.
We're just average dude. We're average boys, man.
Average boys, but so our opinions don't matter, right? But dude, how is it that you personally, if you go through a quarter of the things that he went to, you were going to be put under the fucking jail? My black ass, if I did half of the things that he did, I would be. I'm
you'd be on
under
CNN News. You'd be all over the place. You'd be.
I'm under the fucking jail.
Yeah.
So just the fact that he can just make an apology statement, and I told you off air, like, he made the apology. This movie's getting put out, bro.
Yeah.
This movie's getting put out. Listen, if you remember, if you go back to like the past couple of podcasts we had, I wholeheartedly said this movie needs to be canceled. There's no way it's coming out. Like, there's no fucking way it comes out.
Celebrity privilege. What's up, Jeremy?
And
what's up,
now,
Jeremy right there, my dude.
Yo, and now I'm sitting here like, bro, it's probably gonna come out now.
Okay, so wholeheartedly,
yeah,
I thought there would have been some type of WB or Warner Brothers coming out and being like,
they said nothing.
We respectfully have decided to step away from working with Ezra Miller. We hope that, kind of like what they did to Jeff Hardy. You remember when they fucking were like, dude, we love him. We hope he gets things, but that's all on him. He's an adult and he needs to learn to take care of his shit and be a better human being. Like, good luck on him. Like, we'll if you need help, call us and we'll get you all the help you need. Like, but we need to wash our hands. We'll release the movie, but we're not continuing on with that story. We'll figure it out after that.
Yeah.
Like, you guys at least deserve that, because, but it's coming out that like people that have worked with this dude are like, dude, he's a huge piece of shit. Huge piece of shit. But he came out last week and was like, yo, sorry. My bad. What's up? It's your boy, Skinny Penis, or whatever he fucking said. It's your boy, the Bombastic Wizard. I don't know what he just made up some fucking names. And he's like, I just want to apologize to my fans and the KKK, and I want to apologize to the FBI. You guys weren't really after me. I was just really high. But I'm gonna go to rehab.
Fuck
and
you, Mike.
Yeah.
No, Mike did call it, but no, Mike didn't call it. Mike just said that he felt as though the movie would proceed, and I did not see, dude. But like, I didn't even see, even if with this point being taken in, I didn't even think even an apology would clear this up. But apparently, an apology will clear it up, because like, there has been no substantial amount of talk about this, and I feel as though this is gonna get put through. Like, this movie is gonna get put through, dude.
Oh, dude, straight. And then they're gonna make a continuing movie, and Ezra Miller is gonna be the Flash.
Like, they're gonna hide him for like a year.
Yeah, straight. And they're gonna keep him.
Limited press.
Yeah, they're gonna keep him. They're gonna, I 100%.
And all right, so I have a question to ask, right? The Batgirl movie costs 90 million, right?
Yeah, 90 million.
So let's just round it up. Let's just say a round up to 100 million, right?
100 million.
This movie costs what? Like 200 million, right?
Yeah.
300 million, 200 million, however much it was. Even if it was 300 million, I think it was 200, but let's say it's 300 million. You canceled the $90 million movie, but you won't cancel this movie. Why? Explain that to me.
Privilege.
Okay, so it's 300 million, right?
Okay, okay. Oh, we talked about that. We said this a long time ago that the movie.
So
way too much money behind it.
Mike, explain to me how it makes sense that you cancel a $90 million movie, but you won't cancel a $300 million movie.
Yo,
when
Ham, what's up?
if you're still going to put it out, you have to pay. You have to pay for press. You have to pay for the marketing. You have to pay for whatever reshoots you're gonna shoot because you're gonna have to shoot reshoots. Explain that to me, bro. Like that doesn't make sense, even in a dollar sense. Like it doesn't make sense.
You know what? I think that all of this shit that Ezra Miller did just gave them like the best free press ever. Can you imagine if Dwayne The Rock Johnson just went around fucking rock bottoming people at Walmart and then like got away with it, and then they were like, "Yo, Black Adam's still gonna come out."
Just doesn't make sense to me.
Dude, I would still watch that movie because I would be like, "Yeah, I wonder if that was like his move that he just used on everybody in the movie too." Like what if this was just like a big ass PR move and they were like, "Yo, Ezra, look,"
but they're not making it back, Mike. That's the thing.
Like, hold on, look, can you imagine if Warner Brothers was like, "Yo, we're gonna send you to Hawaii. Be a menace, dude. Run havoc."
No, they said no. They said the exact opposite. They were like, "Yo, we're sending you to Hawaii. Don't be a menace. Stay the fuck off the radar." That's what they said.
4D chess, dude. They're like, "Yo, so what is that shit called? What is it when you fucking cross personality, or what is it when you're fucking like, don't touch the red button and you fucking touch the red button and shit explodes?" Yeah. No, Ezra, go to Hawaii and be a good boy. And he just goes on a muck, dude. He Hawaii. We're gonna say you're gonna get rehab and everybody's gonna forget.
Honestly, I think that Mike is on track. I just hate the fact that he's right about this. I honestly listen. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm wrong, Mike. You're right. I just hate the fact that I'm right about. I hate the fact that you're right about this because it doesn't make any sense. Like it's gonna cost you. All right, so you're at 300 million right now. How much do you think it's gonna cost you to promote this for the next year, or at least the next 2 months before it even releases?
CNN's doing it. Free. The fucking Facebook's doing already enough of that.
It doesn't make any sense.
Every YouTube channels out there like, dude, Ezra Miller. Dude, it goes back to the very first years of YouTube, and then to now. Any coverage of your news is good coverage.
No, that's true.
Because it's free, no matter if it's good or bad.
That's true. I would have loved to have Mike on this week, and we could have debated that live. Like I would have loved to have debated about that because I am totally on board with you. I think this movie, I 100% think this movie is coming out now.
Jeremy's like, they're just gonna do a Spider-Man No Way Home. They're just gonna release one trailer, and they're gonna be like, "Yo,"
and then boom, there you go.
Boom, $7 billion movie. Everyone's gonna be like, "Yo, I wonder if he's grooming kids in the Flash movie." Like, I wonder if it's like gonna be a behind the scenes documentary. I mean, what if that's all it is? What if like a whole ass part of the movie has just been like this entire year of Ezra Miller? Like he runs into like this universe and he's like, "Oh no, is that me in the news?" And it's like, "Who's Ezra Miller?" And it's just him running amok in the world, like beating up people and choke slamming chicks in Korea and fighting dudes in Hawaii at a. Like,
what are you guys expecting from this movie?
Fucking awesome, man.
Like what can they release that will warrant them making any type of money back from this movie? The movie. Let me ask you a question, Chris. Sure. I'm not gonna ask the comments anymore. I'm gonna ask you, Chris. Do you think there is any way in hell that Warner Brothers can recoup that $300 million from the release of this movie?
Yes.
How?
Just the sheer fact on all the drama that Ezra Miller has caused, that people will clamor to go watch this to see what the hype is about.
You don't think that will drive as many people away from the movie as opposed to?
People love drama. People love drama. People love drama. I mean, I can't explain it any more than that. People eat this shit up. That's why there's so many drama channels on YouTube that are super hyper successful, million views, and all they're doing is talking about someone else's bullshit.
So let me ask you a question. So would you feel the same way if what's the Aquaman chick
Oh, Amber Heard.
Amber Heard? What's the difference between Amber Heard and her and him?
Well, she hurt a loved person in the community, and see, that's literally
bullshit.
What it is. I know it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. That's what it is.
That's
Johnny
bullshit.
Depp is like Keanu Reeves. Like if anyone hurt Keanu Reeves, like the world will riot because you're just like, oh, don't touch Keanu because he's perfect.
People are literally petitioning Aquaman 2 because she's still in the movie.
Yeah, because she's still in the film.
All she did was shit on someone's bed. This guy has
groomed children. He's
grooming
people.
Children, bro.
Yeah, he's got people locked in a barn.
Babies with bullets in their mouth.
Yeah, like just fucking weird shit. And
I'm so confused.
And people will still go see this. They're gonna clamor at it, dude.
I'm so confused.
For me, it's one of those things. When something is cancerous, you cut it out.
Okay.
From the very beginning, when Ezra Miller was going around in Hawaii, even when he attacked that or choked that girl.
Do you really think Warner Brothers gives a fuck about that $300 million, bro?
No, fuck no.
So what are we talking about, bro?
They just throw that shit away.
That's my whole point the entire time.
It's
Warner Brothers does not give a shit about that $300 million, bro.
No, they don't care about that because they make that shit on the whim. Like they have that kind of, it's like chump change to them. That's why it's so easy for them to throw away a $90 million film and call it a tax write-off.
But why? I guess it has to be just because. I apologize to Rob again because I did not think it was about the taxes, but like it has to be because there's no other reason why they would be doing this. You can eat the $300 million and start fresh, bro.
Yeah, dude,
and you'll be okay.
Dude, they could even take that film, use a third of it, have him run into another universe, and change the actor mid-shot, and just be like, "Whoa, what happened to my body?" And be like, "Oh, that's because you're in another multiverse. You're not the same person. Your fucking existence has changed." Boom. Ezra Miller's written out. Movie gets released. You got 2/3 of the movie left.
It's gotta be at least $600 million. Like by the time you're done with promotion, I know you guys think like you're getting free promotion, but you're still gonna need to promote this movie when it's like a month out. You still need to put ads. You still need to put, you know what I'm saying? Like you still need to put money behind this. So now you're dumping more money into this shit, and you're not going to make it back. I'm sorry. This movie has Ezra Miller's antics has turned enough people away from this movie to where you're not going to recoup this movie unless it's like the shit. Unless it's like the most badass fucking.
I'm telling you, Brian. Ever. I'm telling you, it would be way different if he didn't apologize, but he apologized and made everybody be like, "Hey, you know what, Ezra? It's okay. It's okay. Everything you did this year, we forgive you. Let's bring that movie out." Because apparently that's all it takes. Because people are clamoring at the idea that, oh man, well, thank God he apologized and he's going to rehab. Thank God. Oh man, like national news, like fucking CNN, fucking TMZ. Everyone's like, hey guys, we won. Ezra Miller finally apologized. He's going to rehab. It's okay. We're getting the Flash movie. That's it. Nobody's talking about, hey man, like that's cool that he apologized. That's cool that he's going to rehab. What about all the rules and all the laws he broke? Like, is he gonna like atone for that shit like everybody else does, or like is it cool because he makes movies? Like, what is it? Like, that's what I ask. Like for all this stuff, like, hey, he apologized. He's going to rehab. Can you explain to me what the whole people in a barn, the grooming, the kidnapping, all that shit, was that like made up, or did someone like blow that story up and it wasn't real and the truth is coming out, or was it real and we're just like gonna wipe it, like, you know, just because it's okay now? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't fucking get it. And this is what I said, like from the very beginning when he assaulted that lady by choking her or whatever.
Yeah.
WB should have been like, "Yo, we're sending you to rehab. If you can't get your shit together,
you're done.
You're done. You're done. Like you're done. Like we don't need this because we can't get regular movies going. Like we can't have this around.
I can't get a fucking Superman movie off the fucking ground.
Movie, man.
I have to deal with this bullshit.
How the fuck can they not do a Superman movie?
Like I can't pay Henry Cavill, who was a unanimous decision for fucking Superman. I can't pay him to make him happy to fucking get a Superman movie off the ground, but yet I gotta deal with your fucking nonsense over here.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to think. Look, and I know what's gonna happen. I'll tell you exactly what's gonna happen. Right now, he's claiming that they're gonna do rehab. He'll get out in 6 to 8 months, and then they
6 to 8 months. No, dude.
No,
he's spending
100%.
He's spending 3 weeks tops. He's spending
dude.
3
Is that
weeks.
what they're saying? 3 weeks?
No,
Bad.
I'm telling you, he's spending tops.
Look, okay, straight
3 weeks.
3 weeks, 4 weeks is probably what he's gonna do, but they're gonna claim 4 to 6 weeks to a year.
That's being
because he's gonna end up going back to his little cult mentality and go back home and isolate himself, and we're just not gonna hear about it. They're not gonna cover it. But what's gonna happen?
Has going on, dude, he can't cure in 6 months. Let's say even he goes to get help for 6 months. You can't cure what he has in 6 months, bro.
I totally agree. I totally
agree.
You can't do that within a year. With all the damage and all the shit that he's doing, you can't clear that in a year. It takes a lot of time because it's all bad habits, and you have to break all those habits. So
that movie's coming out, bro.
A couple weeks, he's out again doing crazy shit, but no one will hear about it because they're not going to cover it. Warner Brothers is going to claim he's doing fine, and he'll be out, and he's going to do a 4-month period or a 6-month course, and then he should be 100% cured.
So Mike says basically what I'm saying. So he says traditional damage control time frame for rehab is 1 month. So with everything that he's done, if you heard that he got out of rehab in 1 month, what are you saying to yourself?
Look at Will Smith. Like, look at this Will Smith situation. How long did it take him to finally respawn?
I'm asking you about this one.
Okay, go. I didn't hear you. What was it?
Because the Will Smith is a totally different, and
yes, I agree. It's not as wild, and it's pretty straightforward.
But for this specific topic, if after everything that he's done and been through, you heard that he went to rehab for 1 month and got out, what would you say to yourself? What would be your internal thought to that? Say it out loud.
Yeah, he's connected. There's someone that's way up there that's protecting him, way higher than just your normal executive.
You would say this is some bullshit.
I already know this is some bullshit. I already know this is some bullshit, but I just don't know why it's this bullshit. Like, I don't know. This, like I said earlier, and I don't want to say it's because of privilege or being white or whatever, but this dude is very well connected with someone that's not allowing him to go to jail, that's allowing him to run amok, that's allowing media to be like, oh, cool, he apologized, you guys. Look, he apologized. He's going to go to rehab. Everything's better. They're trying to run a narrative that it's cool now. It's cool. Guys say, don't worry about Ezra Miller no more. Last week he was riding around the U.S. with a gun and he had a vest and all this other shit, but it's okay. He's going to go to rehab. We're good. And then even with that, let's say your call is correct. A week and a half, he's out. Let's say he's out. They're going to be like, hey, guys, Ezra Miller did his week. He's so much better. He's out there. He's going to donate $1 million to a rehab society, and he's going to go out there and do something for the kids. And Warner Brothers is back in talks with him. And soon we're going to get a 60-minute or a TMZ interview, 45 minutes long, with Ezra Miller, the story of Ezra Miller, You know him as the hero, the Flash, but did you know that he grew up and he was molested by a clown at a birthday party 3 times, and the second and third time he invited him back? Like, they're going to come up with all of this shit on how you're supposed to feel bad for him. How you're supposed to take responsibility for his responsibility. And you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. 60 minutes.
No, I don't, because once he gets out of rehab in the next 3 weeks, I'm already disconnected already as is. I'm only talking about this because like it was such major news, But like
An
I'm
apology was huge.
so disconnected with Ezra Miller and this. That's what I'm saying. Like I would like to think the majority, and I'm just so sick of hearing about Ezra Miller in this movie, bro. Like I don't need to see it at this point, bro. Like what am I gonna see it for? What am I looking forward to?
You see, I'm in the same boat, and the only reason why I'm in the same boat, other than
And
this,
you know how much I was anticipating this movie. I was anticipating this movie, bro.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was in the same boat. I'm in the same exact boat. Is this film, whatever it is now, whatever Warner Brothers is doing, it doesn't matter because the universe that he was a part of is almost inconsistent. It's incoherent. All the characters that are a part of that storyline, all of them are gone. Shazam and Black Adam are their own universe. Write them off as being a part of something else. Maybe reference Henry Cavill later since he hasn't fucking groomed children or fucking kidnapped people. Only reference him. Jason Momoa, I don't know. Get him a job at Burger King. Aquaman really wasn't all that hard. He was cooler in the Snyder Cut or in the Whedonverse more than his own movie. Yeah, dude. DC just needs to fucking start over. Just
I love this.
Over.
I love this conversation with Mike. So he's saying, Brian, that's the goal. Apathy to what Ezra has done. People stop caring, so they forget about it. So let me ask you a question, Mike. At any point, will you ever forget about what has transpired in the last 6 months?
No, but that's because Mike sits out of that narrative, man. He sees all the stuff they're doing. He sees it as a businessman. He sees it the way we see it.
No, I not for once said that I don't understand why they're doing it. I'm saying that it's so far gone that whatever regular shit you can probably pull on the fans, it's not going to work because like I'm asking you, Chris, as a human being, in the next year, when the name Ezra Miller comes up, you're gonna be thinking about the shit that's happened in the past 6 months.
I'm gonna be thinking trash. Like the guy is trash. The guy is trash. Like
that's what
I'm thinking 100%. Every time I hear it.
That's what you're gonna be thinking about. Like,
yeah,
he has done so much. I just find it so hard to believe that there is an exit plan or that there is a way of recouping this. There's no way of recouping that $300 million, Mike. I don't care how you break it up. You will not make that $300 million back, no matter how many people are curious for this movie. Like, there's gonna be so many people that are just so disgusted by him that you're not going to be able to make this money back, bro.
But I'm telling you, like, there's tactics for this, and I know you don't believe it. I know you don't.
I don't.
You don't see it. I'm going to tell you exactly, and it was going on that realm, like I was talking about. There'll be an interview. There'll be a behind the scenes documentary on his life and turmoil and his week, how hard it was when he was going through the treatment or whatever, when he was in the psych ward for a week, how hard it was.
Yo, can we get Mike in here? Can you send him the link?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
We're gonna go straight middle of this thing, Mike.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
yes.
Be ready, Mike. I'm gonna send it to your Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, I could totally do that.
We need Mike in here.
Man.
No, we need Mike in here. I think this is a very interesting conversation to have. Like, this is great.
Let me get him. Yeah, but straight, I'm 100% telling you, like, that's exactly how I think it's going to go down. They need to create some type of sympathy action for him, for the people to be like, oh, you know what? I didn't know that about him. Poor dude. Like, oh, poor Ezra Miller was going through that. Mike, check your Facebook. Yeah, he's got to get his clothes on, dude, because he's all in his boxers.
See. You pump faking over it. You pump faking. You say you was ready. You're not ready, Mike. But no,
he's ready. He's ready. He'll be on right now.
No,
but straight. And you know this too because we've seen this a million times in the news. They're going to create some type of weird ass narrative where you didn't know, but this is what you didn't know. This is what you didn't know. Their pronouns. You didn't know. You didn't know. You didn't know. And you watch, dude. And people are going to clamor to have his back. There's a really interesting small group of people that thought
no one is gonna have this guy's back. Like if people were gonna have his back, but like there's no way that people will have his back now and not have his back the entire time.
Well, there's people that are siding.
There was no one that was saying he was in the right this entire time.
There is people that have the back of the girl that came out and defended Ezra Miller, saying that she wasn't kidnapped, that people just don't know, that he's a really great guy, and that she's not really being groomed or wasn't groomed from the age of 12 or 13, that they just don't know because that's her best friend. That's the fucking Drake and Millie Bobby Brown situation. You know what I mean? Like, it was still a little fucking weird. And every time someone like talks about Millie Bobby Brown in her life, it's like, well, there was that time that Drake was giving her fucking advice at 13 for boys and shit. Like, and you're kind of like, well, Drake, that's not your department, bro. Like, that, you know, that's meant for her family, brothers, cousins, you know, fucking her own shit to deal with. Not a dude who is Drake that raps about, you know, puss and drugs and chicks like every other week. You know what I mean? It's a little weird.
What does he rap about?
Huh?
What does he rap about?
I don't know.
He raps about what?
Listen to Drake.
No, I want you to say exactly what you just said. What does he rap about?
Puss and chicks and dudes, or I don't know. I don't know. Puss and chicks and dudes. That's a fucking shirt waiting to happen, dude. That's a t-shirt and a half, man.
That's a sick That's a sick combination right there.
Chicks and dudes.
That's a sick combination.
But yeah, dude, you watch, man. Oh, here we go. Mike,
he's here.
In the
Yes.
chat. Here we go.
Yes.
Mike, welcome.
Mike, yes.
Fucking Mike.
Yeah, go to sleep. So let's
go.
Sleep is for the weak. Us nerds, we live in the night.
Mike, let's go, man. So, Mike, tell me. All right. So, let me preface this. So, Mike, you are the executive at Warner Brothers, right?
You guys continue.
All right.
You are spending $300 million on this project over here, right?
Right.
You don't need the money, Mike.
So
you don't need the money, Mike.
The concept of not needing the money is 150,000% relevant, but it's not an accurate representation on the way revenue processes. So a company.
All right. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. I promise you, I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
But I need you before you break down how revenue processes. I need you to understand that I am aware that they're going to need to spend at least, let's say, give or take, another 50 to 100 million just on promoting this movie in the next year. Would you say that?
I would say if you were to tally up what it would cost to do what they're going to do, it'd be about there. But they're not really going to pay that.
Okay.
All right. So revenue processes from all angles within one universe, right? So the best example I have is the way I operate all my conventions.
Yes.
So to run a show, I need sponsors to pay in and cover my cost. Hopefully, yes, I have earned enough from a sponsor to cover said cost. But yes, in case I did not, I sell vendor tables, and yes, I should have enough vendor tables to cover the rent, at least for the venue I'm in. So as long as I sell every individual table, I've covered a massive chunk of things. Okay, yes, well, then on top of that, I'm going to sell ad space. Okay, you can't be at my show, but if you buy ads on my badge or in my forms and my paperwork, then hey, you're there. Or you know what, you want to run a tournament, go ahead and pay in and you get to join the tournament. So I have all these smaller revenue streams that even though one thing may be a total loss somewhere, all the individual revenue streams have paid out. And that's what we're seeing happen with Shazam, with Black Adam, with DC Super Pets, with all these animated movies that are vomiting out of everywhere. The new merchandising deal with Six Flags and Six Flags Fiesta Texas has come out. Okay. You know, we had Universal Studios is buying portions of some WB products. We had the new Gremlins stuff coming out on HBO now. You know, there's all these WB
properties
and licenses that are being fished out. Why? Because there's going to be this huge ass loss, even though they've spent the $300 million and you'll never get that back. And let's say the movie does respectfully well and pulls in a good 200 mil. You'll still have a ton of people that don't want to see this movie because, hey, they hate Ezra. But at the same time, everything else around this movie has done spectacular. DC Super Pets, I had no right being one as good of a movie as it was.
It was a great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Really?
And two,
I didn't know that.
It's made a lot of damn money. I mean, a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, I went to the sneak peek. I won the tickets online. Of course, they did a DC quiz, and my idiot self saw it on Facebook, and I was the only one that knew that Keanu Reeves was Batman. So I took my son to go see it, and the merchandising is great for it. And the Black Adam tie-in was great for it. They have an origins for a Green Lantern that is, unless you're a deep cut Green Lantern comic book fan, there was no reason for you to know that Chip was going to be featured as the Squirrel Green Lantern. So there's a lot of things that in those realms will cover this cost.
So
Brian,
Mike, I understand what you're saying. I'm following what you're saying. I think I would like to believe that I'm competent enough to follow what you're saying. But the only difference from what I'm seeing with this Ezra Miller thing is that when it comes to your conventions, you have multiple acts or multiple things to depend on making your money. Now, when you are a studio selling a movie, you are selling this movie off of 2 or 3 actors, give or take. Let's say your main actor has gone off the fucking rails and just started beating people up on an island for 3 months, and then it just shit the complete bed. How do you plan on making that money back, Mike? Talk to that.
So making that money back would
you
be
said
impossible.
you said 200, and I gave a look like there is no fucking way that movie is making $200 million. But I'll let you get that off. There's no way. There's no way that movie's making 200.
The movie will make that money because of the other top actors that are in it. You still have
straight. I'm gonna tell you how they're gonna make that money back. Now I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
no, this is how they're gonna make the money back. 100%. Ezra Miller's gonna get out of rehab, and he's gonna have a Cinderella story. And I know you're laughing at it, but he's gonna have a Cinderella story. Okay. He'll do his interviews, and then he's gonna go do PR for the movie.
Okay.
He's gonna go red carpets, gonna go fucking TV shows, all that stuff, and he's gonna go and promote it himself. After all of this debacle, after all the menacing shit he's done, they're gonna let him do his PR, and with less cash, they're gonna make that money. I'm 100% telling you because people like drama.
Mike, can I ask you a question?
People like drama.
Do you hear any type of problems with the plan that he just laid out? It sounds good, but do you hear anywhere where that can go wrong?
So there's two trains of thoughts in public relations, right? There's the reality, the moral compass. Ethically is something sound, right? And Brian, that's where you're sitting right now. Everything that you're hearing that Ezra Miller possibly could do, that Warner Brothers could possibly do,
he's still fucking nuts, Chris. Yeah. He is going to fuck up again. You are banking on the fact that for the next year he won't do anything stupid. That's what you're banking your $300 million on.
That's what your lottery's on. Yeah, that's what the 3 million's been. That's what the 300 million's been on.
Ethically sound, Brian. That's where you're at. You don't like the idea that this is potentially going to work, and then you have damage control. Yeah. And the best media representation of damage control that we've seen in the last few years is The Boys. The way that public relations team handles Homelander, right? And this is what we have. We have Ezra as our crazy Homelander.
Ezra's Homelander.
Yeah, and we have a public relations team of really highly paid professionals that are going to be ripping out their fucking hair on the sidelines, but they're going to treat this person like an animal. He's going to be subdued and sedated. He's going to be force-fed what he needs to say, and you're going to say it only this way. You will repeat the same 4 lines. And in real life, we saw this happen with Kevin Hart. When Kevin Hart got caught cheating on his wife, he went on Good Morning America and all these platforms.
The press run.
He did a huge press run, but he would say the same 5 lines, the same exact way. And if there's any questions other than that, he's like, no, I can't speak to that. It's going to have to be no comment. Or, I don't know what she thinks. There were these workarounds that you are forced because you are given that script. Hell, I've written them for certain, I can't even say their names, certain clients that I have. Individuals. And make mistakes like this, and it's the way it's going to be perceived. All this was a mistake. It was never meant to happen. He was overwhelmed. There's so much stress. Maybe he has anxiety disorder. Maybe he has some type of mental disorder. They're going to find things to match him up to that are close enough to make you believe. It's the don't look at the man behind the curtain. This is the Wizard of Oz.
What else makes a better superhero story than a person who fails and comes back and gets that winning win again and comes back to being
somebody that doesn't fail.
Ezra Miller,
place.
that's who.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Ezra Miller. Fuck that guy.
I guess. But there's something. All right. So listen, I get that. I love a good Cinderella story. I love a good comeback story. Everyone fucking does.
Yeah.
This guy needs to sit down for a little bit. I think that can be a unanimous.
You see, and that's what you're going to see happen here.
And that's my take on the 8 months damage control.
Yeah, and it's not going to be a Cinderella story. What we're getting here is what's very popular in superhero media right now: the redemption arc. We're getting a villain. We're getting someone that we hate, and that person is going to redeem themselves somehow. They're going to do these amazing things after they get better and they saw treatment. They saw the error of their ways.
Suicide,
and the propaganda machine. It's been a system in place since World War I. That's what we're seeing happen here.
Okay, so Mike, you said that, and I do agree with you. I do think that if Warner Brothers does decide to move forward with this movie, which I do think they will have Ezra Miller on a quote unquote limited press run,
embargo or something.
Where he won't be able to do as much as he would originally plan. But how, Mike, let me ask you. If you're trying to sell this movie, so I'm so stuck on this 300 million because I'm so confused as to how you motherfuckers think they're making this money back. So you're at the $300 million mark, right?
Right.
How do you make this back again? I know you said like there's going to be a certain amount of press, but like I'm just confused. I don't think I can get past that. I don't think that I can get past how you can make that 300, and then not only that, but then make it to where you can make it justifiable to the people that you could just say, "Hey, you know what? We fucked up."
Okay. Just to throw this out there.
Yes.
Warner Brothers Discovery's annual revenue for 2021 is $191 billion.
Yes.
So just throwing that out there.
So before you answer, Mike, I'm coming from the standpoint they can lose that 300 and not give a fuck about it, bro.
And that's
why. So, Mike, let me ask you this question. I'm sorry, Mike. Let me ask you this question. Why do you think it's so important for them to get this movie off the ground? What is it about this movie that they just will not let it go?
And hold that question. Hold that. I'm just going to give you numbers just to give you numbers, just so we have some kind of like baseline. Okay. Warner Brothers Discovery annual revenue for 2021 was $12.191 billion, which is a 14.24 increase from 2020.
So, Mike, what is it about this movie? What is it about this 300 million that they just cannot separate? And you have the owner of the Warner Brothers now saying, you know what, fuck everything. I'm throwing everything the fuck out. What is it about this movie do you think it is that they're just saying, you know what, we're sticking with it?
So we're going to answer this in two parts. The first is that money, okay? The dollar amount that's been spent, $300 million. The $300 million has been spent, but it was never Warner Brothers money to spend to begin with. They didn't take from their own coffers. So every film has executive producers, assistant executive producers, associate producers, all these people that have invested chunks of money from their own private media firms, their own companies to make this thing happen, right? It's the same way I go back to when I discuss funding my conventions. When I run my shows, I have sponsor after sponsor after sponsor, because when somebody sponsors something, they're giving to promote their business. Yeah. I don't do investors, because there's no way for me to guarantee I can recoup the cost to give somebody back their investment.
Yeah.
Here, though, an investor contract at something at this size has something called an escape clause. Okay, so you are giving your money in danger that you may not get this back, and understanding that if we cannot recoup your costs, if this is a total wash, we will still release said product, but you are not getting your money back. So somebody like Warner Brothers is going to have that clause in place to kind of get past everything, because it's not their money to lose. They don't really care. And yeah, they can bank mad and do everything they're going to do. What they just did with HBO Max alone this week, getting rid of 14% of their employee base alone is going to cover the loss for a film like this.
So again, I'm trying to climb into your brain. I want to know why is it this movie then? You have just literally just confirmed, not confirmed, but agree with what I said. They don't need the fucking $300 million fucking dollars, bro.
No, you
So,
are 100% right, Brian. You
what
are
is
right.
it? So what is it about this movie, do you think, besides the money? Because like it's not the money. I don't honestly, there's nothing you can say to make me believe they will recoup $300 million for this movie. There's absolutely no way. Right. So you take that out the equation. So then what else is there? What else is there?
It's all about something called optics. It's
okay.
It's perception. So WB made a huge mistake. Whether the Batgirl movie was going to be a shit movie or not, it was still a Latina-driven film. It was with people of color that were in the writers' room. There was an eclectic group of stars. Hell, everybody's favorite film sweetheart right now, Brendan Fraser, was in the film as a bad guy, and his fans were excited for that. And they tossed that thing out like I wiped my ass with toilet paper. I needed flush test. There was no remorse for it whatsoever. Yeah. And that was disappointing. And when you look at their competition, Marvel is doing massive films and taking huge risks, and they're kicking ass. So even when people say the movie was horrible, they are still profitable. Yeah. So now they can't get rid of anything else. They've gotten rid of everything they possibly could. If they drop another project, especially something that has Michael Keaton attached, which is almost everybody's favorite Batman. I mean, if you have a certain age range, you have all these potential other stars that are going to be cameoing in this. And a film that's storyline, if we got it right, is basically Flashpoint, and it's going to change a landscape.
Which is very weird because that's a whole ass story that they need to they really need to build into, because you don't have anything else past the Flash.
And honestly, that's the reason why, and I told you months ago, that's the reason why I was anticipating this movie, because I kind of figured or hoping that they would kind of adapt a little bit from the Flashpoint paradox, and I would be happy as a fan. But I just don't see how they recoup that 300 million. Like I would just like to say, you know what? This just not working. Although it's 300 million, we have billions to spend, bro. Like you know what? Let's just scrap it. Call it a day. We'll find the money somewhere else. We'll make it 10 years from now.
You see, but that's the misconception on the way they're going to operate this, because they found the money already. And the new president, which was previously
Zaslav or whatever his name is,
he said it perfectly about 3 weeks ago. Matter of fact, the last time I was on listening to your all stream, we talked about it. He said that he wanted to focus more on reality TV and that type of drama. So where's he going to make his money?
Reality TV.
We're going to give you the live retelling story of how Ezra Miller fell. And then we're
that's nasty
on Discovery Plus.
Oh, that's nasty.
I didn't even think of that. Oh no,
that's
horrible,
nasty. Yeah, it's gonna work though. That's gonna work.
It fits what I was talking about earlier.
Because that is damage control. You're gonna allow this kid to burn out hard, because that's
all right. So then drop the movie and then just promote that then.
They don't have to, because they can still make what money they can and make investors
they can still make the money
off
from
what you spent.
There's no money from the movie though.
No, dude, straight. That's literally the boys when they show the 7 movies. Like they give fucking, what was her face, the Nazi chick, Stormfront, and then they just turn her into a villain in the other Avengers movie with the 7 in it.
There is a reason why Eric Kripke, starting off with his stuff he did on Gilmore Girls, and then off to Supernatural.
Supernatural.
He's
really good at that shit.
The narrative of what that business is like, and we get to see that from the background. And I mean, I am not by far the most famous convention runner in South Texas, much less the entire United States.
But you're up there, though. Talk that shit, bro. Talk that shit, Mike. Talk that shit, Mike.
That we speak to when they come to our shows, you see these celebrities being run ragged, and they're being pulled and tugged in all directions. Some of them aren't treated like people. The amount of contracts we have to read to guarantee people won't say certain things, or they're not allowed to go certain places, or alcohol consumption can only be left to so much. They are products, and they are packaged a certain way. So that's what Ezra Miller's being allowed to do. He tanked out and burnt out hard. He got himself in as much trouble as he wanted. The police could not find him, but a WB rep got him on the phone. Come in and do your reshoots.
So,
and then when he came to do the reshoots, then okay, now you're going to rehab.
Okay, all right. So, with all that being said, do you think that this statement that Ezra Miller put out, do you think that's going to get it done? Do you think that that will be enough for the WB to give the green light to well, you already think this movie's going to get pushed through anyway, but do you think like this will get over the hill? Do you think this statement will get people to chill out and actually go and see this movie?
As a human being, I want to say no. That that he won't be able to do it. But as a
that's what the
relations
moral
guy,
attitude part.
yeah, I've been a public relations professional for going on 15 years now.
So tell me, the public relations guy, what does he think?
It works 100%.
He's like, it works. He's like, yeah, it fucking works. I love it. I love it.
Works. Because that's all people want. You know, we grew up with it. You know, you hit that kid, go tell him you're sorry.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, oh, no, daddy hit mommy, but daddy said he was sorry, and it'll never happen again. Yeah. You know, these brush off fake apologies. You know, YouTube stars do it best, and we see it happen all the time. Somebody does something really
Jeffree
stupid.
Star, man.
Yeah, they put some sad piano music in the fucking background, and they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was molested myself as a child, so I'm going to get help."
What did I tell you? Ezra Miller one. He got molested by a clown 3 times.
Yeah, you know,
once it was an accident. The other 2 he invited him over.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's true, and it's the cold reality of the way we consume media and the way we want instant gratification.
Mike, let me ask you a question. Who wrote this apology letter?
Oh, some PR, most likely. Yeah, he didn't write shit. I'm telling you right now. Like, I could probably go into a room at WE, look at the PR people, and say, "Okay, intern number 5."
He's that guy right there.
Yeah, because there's 3 different models to write something like this. If it's long and intense, and that's the writer's room. It was a cattle call. So a ton of PR people came together. They did research on his life and said, "We're going to pick you these bullet points. You're going to speak on this, and that is that." Okay. The other style is, hey, shit has gone down. We just need to get something out. So some interns like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I did this," and they write.
You know what's even funnier than that? Like, we don't even know if Ezra Miller even thought of this shit.
Oh,
he could be at home and they could be like, "Look, Ezra, we need you to come in and we need you to apologize." He's like, "Fuck you, I ain't going nowhere." The guy, listen, the guy that I've been watching, I'm a visual person. Like, I'm a visual and I'm a vibe person. The person that I have been watching for the last 6 months go on this tirade and this bullshit fucking just weird ass fucking Lord of the
whatever
Rings,
the fuck you call it, whatever the fuck you call it. He is not able to articulate what I read in that apology. It's just no fucking way, bro. There's just no fucking way that you could tell me that he wrote that shit.
Yeah.
A public relations professional who's probably pretty well versed in damage control, even if they're a student, has done some research and they know their things.
It's just something. It's just something. It's something for me to think like someone that is acknowledging they have a mental health issue to be able to articulate that. For me, that doesn't equate to me. Does that make sense?
You know what's even funnier than that? Is that means WB had to like come to some type of terms with Ezra Miller for him to calm down, for them to at least drop an apology acknowledgement. Like, if it wasn't really him, like that's them like setting up for like, oh, well, soon he'll do a public apology like in an interview.
I have been waiting to ask this, and I forgot about it earlier. Mike, explain to me why you think the WB did not make any type of response to Ezra Miller ever.
So someone like Ezra Miller, he's already been in an established franchise, right?
Yeah,
he's been in multiple films already. He's attached to their television options as well. He's been in Peacemaker. I mean, I guess spoiler alert, but it's been over a year at this point. Please have watched that. There's so much investment into him and a team that's been built to handle him that all they needed to do was get a hold of him again. It's like a horse got out of the stable. Yeah, the horse took the fuck off and it ran for miles and it broke some shit and all that jazz. But as soon as we catch that horse again and we put him back in the corral, we're okay because we got it contained again. And that's what we're seeing happen here. He got out and he threatened a lot of horrible things. He did a lot of horrible things, but they got a hold of him now. They're going to shove him into rehab. He'll be there for, like I said, normal pattern is about a month. They'll say you're going to be there for a year or 2 years, but he's been doing great. His therapist decides that he's free to go.
2 thumbs up review. Yeah,
he's been the best.
He'll have some type of limitation.
Seen.
Yeah, you'll see it. Like I'm calling it now. There'll be some type of limitation. He can't be under extreme duress, so we're going to limit his time on air. And
he can't be out in the sun for too long because it irritates him.
And you'll see a professional with him, some type of psychiatrist or therapist. Somebody will be beside him, and that's the handler. No matter what you hear, that's the handler. That person's there to treat him like an animal.
He can't have any sugars or energy drinks. Can't have Kit Kats.
Yeah, and that's when you start hearing the use of
so Chris
keywords like triggers and stuff being used.
Chris, let me ask you a question: Is Warner Brothers making back that $300 million? Honestly,
yes.
Okay, and Mike, you think they're making the 300?
And watch this, watch this. They're gonna make it in the second week, dude.
Mike, second week of the release of that film. You think they're making that $300 million back, right?
I'm telling you right now, with back end deals, they've already made that money back, 100%.
Dude, watch Brian, even better. This movie is gonna be DC's No Way Home, dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not even kidding, dude. I'm not even kidding.
Mike, do you hear this?
It's gonna be their No Way Home. How much did No Way Home make? How much money did No Way Home make? Almost $1 billion.
Yep.
I'm telling you, dude, this is their No Way Home. They pulled it. And the reason why I'm 100% telling you this is because they pulled so much to bring in a bunch of nostalgic characters, and that's what they were running with. They were like, "Oh shit, Grant Gustin did this in the fucking TV shows, and the fucking internet went crazy. If we can do this, this is our way to do like an end game where we bring in all of these cool characters, but we can bring in all the old DC. We can even bring in Jack Nicholson's Joker. We can bring in fucking Batman, Michael Keaton. We can bring in the Penguin. We can bring in Christopher Walken, fucking Michelle Pfeiffer. We can bring all those characters from back in the day, and we'll bank. It's No Way Home all over again. It's No Way Home. You watch, dude.
I'm sitting here, right?
Motherfucking%.
I'm sitting here, and it just hit me. Like it just dawned on me, like a fucking cascade of fucking bullshit.
Look, no fucking around. No fucking around.
What if this movie is lit, bro? What if it's fucking good? Like, what if it's legit good, bro? Like, what if it's legit good?
What would you do if Arnold Schwarzenegger showed up in a part in that fucking costume?
If that motherfucker doesn't say everybody chill, I'm losing my shit. Like I'm telling you right now.
Yo, 100%. If you got Jim Carrey to just dress up as the Riddler again. If you got,
I don't need it. Listen. I wasn't a big fan when he was.
That skyrocketed his whole fucking literally from The Mask to the Riddler. That was it.
No, it didn't.
To Cable Guy.
Riddler.
Those 3 movies.
The Riddler, and I will argue to the death on this. That was probably the biggest mistake of his acting career.
Oh, dude, that was like the best career for any Batman movie. He goes down as one of the best villains in a Batman series ever. To this day, best interpretation of the Riddler ever done.
That was the worst performance of Jim Carrey's career, and I'm pretty sure he might even agree with that.
It was such a crazy performance that Tommy Lee Jones at a restaurant, Jim Carrey goes up to him and he hugs him, and Tommy Lee Jones just tells him, "I cannot."
Of course, in the punchline,
I cannot sanction your buffoonery, dude. I love that fucking line.
Yeah.
And he told them that shit in real life. That wasn't scripted.
All right, Jeremy. Listen, I have been watching. I'm a huge In Living Color fans. If you guys don't know, In Living Color is a sketch comedy show where Jim Carrey actually got his beginning. I am a huge Jim Carrey fan. Yeah, I've been watching
Fire Marshal in that. It was
Fire Marshal Bill. Yeah. Fire Marshal Bill is his name, and then I have been a fan.
Chick. Remember when he was up everybody?
Yes, with the Jim shit.
Yeah, I love that shit.
I have been a Jim Carrey fan forever. That to me was his weakest. I did not. I loved it because I actually went to the movies to go see that movie because he was in it, and I did not need him as the Riddler. That just was not for me personally.
For comedic roles with Jim Carrey, I think a series of films that's always overlooked is Ace Ventura.
That's not even overlooked. That's a classic, bro. That's
it's
like God tier.
It's always like, hey, he did The Mask, and then he's the Riddler, and then they go with Cable Guy, and then Truman Show.
Cable Guy is a masterpiece.
Yeah, and it's like I understand.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's
Ace
like
Ventura
these are all the shapers,
film,
dude.
They're great. Like,
They're what shaped his career. Is the greatest.
And
years
as
of
I'm
his life.
saying, like him as the Riddler is like the low point. Like that's like the low point. Like you can't tell me any of those movies that you just named. Whatever Batman Begins, wherever Batman that was.
Forever? Batman Forever?
Forever.
No,
Yeah, Batman Forever. It was Batman Forever.
Yeah.
It was Batman Forever. Batman Forever is not better than any one of those movies, and his acting chops.
But like no, but like straight. Going back to the conversation, like
even Sonic, he was great in Sonic.
If let's say fucking straight up, the Flash is going on, they're doing all this stuff. Michael Keaton comes in as the Batman and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But then you hear the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Oh,
like you 100% did not see that coming, and you're like, God damn, dude, like how did they pull this shit off?
You see, and,
like,
and
I'm not saying Jack Nicholson's looking great these years.
Because if we look at Spider-Man, all we had was a tease that Doc Ock was coming back. Hello, Peter. And I mean, I am a huge Alfredo Molina fan, and I saw him back as Dr. Octopus, and he was my Doc Ock. I was like, hell yeah, I don't care how shitty this movie could be. I'm going to see it for him. Then
straight up.
Closer to the film coming, we got the infamous pumpkin bomb landing, and all we heard was Dafoe's laugh. That was it. It could have been just an audio bite from something else. There was no confirmation he was the Green Goblin we were getting, but I was like, I'm gonna go see it 100% now, because what if I do get Dafoe?
Straight. And this is just me throwing things out in the middle of the abyss of ideas on how we can make this movie a fantastic film. For the part where he goes back in time, they bring Tim Burton to film that part, or actually produce it, like co-producer, so that it has the same vibe. Like you're
already at a price. You're already at a fucking 300. How much more money do you expect them to fucking spend on this shit, bro?
All I'm doing is I'm throwing you ideas on how this movie can be like one of the best things in the planet, and it'd be surrounded by all of this mess.
Listen, for 300,
Val Kilmer comes as Batman Kingdom Come.
For $300 million, this better already be the best fucking movie on the fucking planet.
I mean, for what DC has, it probably is. I mean, for what DC's
like,
put out, it probably
better fucking be.
Yeah, it probably
anything
is.
that you're going to mention is going to cost millions of more dollars that if I am an executive, I cannot sign off on. Like I'm trying. This is my whole point with Mike. Like I understand your logic and your points and everything, but as an executive, as someone on the board, I cannot sign off on more money being spent.
But we don't know if that's why this company held on to this movie for so long.
Yeah,
because they were able to get that.
But we do know. But what we do.
To what Brian is saying, I'm going to go back to, I think it was last month when I said it, and you guys didn't like when I said it the first time. This movie will be the reset. Like whatever the hell happens in this,
we're hoping that's what we were.
I was hoping it.
And the tent poles for future projects are going to be Shazam and Aquaman. Those are going to be our tent poles, and they're going to rewrite everything around those two, because Momoa, for all he is, fans love him. Fans will kill for Momoa, and in real life, that guy's a really cool cat.
And for me, being that I understand, or I'm hoping that's where they're going, and then after Zaslav came in and basically just scrapped everything and said that basically Aquaman and Shazam will be the last, or Aquaman and Shazam and Black Adam are going to be the last movies. So then what's the I keep coming back. So then what's the importance of this fucking movie then, bro?
I think Zakalov or whatever his name is, he can't get past the executives that are saying, no, we're going to keep this movie.
Happen, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a boardroom.
You can only get so far, but you're not that high in the food chain. You're not going to scrap this movie. This is what's going to reset everything. You're not going to do that.
I guess.
I 100% believe that. And that's why they didn't scrap it past the Batgirl. That's why it was like everyone was at home and they were like, yep, they're scrapping that movie. There's no way the Flash.
That was $100 million scrap, bro. You telling me that
it's better than a 300 million scrap?
Is it though?
I don't know, because I fucking know. I don't know. First off, I don't know how the Ezra Miller movie got up to 300 million. And the only reason why I can think that is because they brought in a bunch of different motherfuckers, dude. And the reason why I think this is because of what WB did for the television show. What they did for that crossover.
Michael Keaton was definitely 100 million of that shit.
That crossover brought in actors from the 80s Batman, brought in the Adam West Robin, brought in the Lucifer TV show from the WB. Yeah, it brought in so many motherfuckers from different franchises. It's not even funny. And they did it. They even brought Ezra Miller
into the WB.
It was historical. No way that you were like, yo, WB is gonna do this because they love the fans. Yeah. No way anyone was seeing that shit.
But they did though.
But they did, and they did it for a TV show. And if they're willing to do that for a TV show, they'll get Arnold Schwarzenegger in a fucking freeze outfit and put his ass in that film. They'll bring Jack Nicholson out of his fucking nursing home. And put him back in Joker makeup and have him do the laugh.
Tom Hardy comes back as Bane or Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. You know, there's a universe out there that exists all half-ass and piecemeal.
And it's like I said, can you imagine just by chance they bring in Chris O'Donnell or George Clooney, which was the most hated Batman, and they bring George Clooney back to apologize for his.
I think we talked about this. Was he really that bad though?
No, he wasn't that bad. None of those movies were that bad.
Mike, what's your thoughts on George Clooney as Batman?
George Clooney wasn't a bad Batman. His script was bad.
His script was bad.
Yeah, I agree. Worse than watching the McDonald's product placement.
Yeah,
his black credit card. Don't leave home without it. It's the dumbest thing ever. But mind you, I like the product placement because I bought those fucking glasses.
It was just
I bought the McDonald's glasses. I had the Batman and the fucking Robin one.
It was just as bad as them fighting Freeze's guys in a hockey ring, but then when you watch them, they're all doing roller skating.
Yeah,
like it was that bad.
Yeah, and George Clooney is a wonderful actor. You know, matter of fact, when I give public relations training, I show his film up in the air for training purposes. But it was just not a good script. He did.
You want to make an easy $20? You tell George Clooney that he owes you money for the Batman movie, and he'll give you $20. He's paid so many people back for a refund that it's not even funny. He's paid so many people back. But yeah, dude. Who would have thought we would have talked about Ezra Miller for this long? But it needs to be talked about because for me, it's just one of those things. Straight to the point. I think Ezra Miller's a bad person. He's bad for the business. I don't think anything they're going to do is going to save face, but I know what they're going to do. Like, I know what they're going to do, and I've seen it so many times.
We all have.
A lot of PR, some up and close personal stuff, some behind the scenes stuff, and then him going out there and showing people, hey, I'm a lot more stronger, independent woman or whatever he wants to call himself. And yeah, he's going to go out there and promote the movie himself, and people are going to want to see it because it's a Cinderella story.
So before we move on, I have one last question since Mike is
here. You're staying on the show with us or what?
Yeah. No, he's staying on. No, he's staying on. He's staying on. He's staying on because I'm not done with him. Our next topic, I'm going to get on him as well about that. But I have one more question for him, though. Do you honestly think that Ezra Miller can stay out of trouble for the next year?
No. But that's fucking But that's the thing. Like, he doesn't have to stay out of trouble. He just has to have his redemption arc.
He just got to stay out of camera sight, man.
Yeah.
How do you have a redemption arc when you can't stay out of trouble? Tell me that, yo.
They're just like Homelander. Don't let anyone see you with a camera.
Comic books, right? But matter of fact, Harley Quinn, the animated series, is doing it best. You know, we're watching. We're watching the Joker on that fucking series do horrible things, but he has a wife at home. He has stepchildren. You know, there are these things that make him likable, and it's his redemption arc. He's getting better. He's still a horrible thing.
The scene when Homelander laser beams that dude, and that one guy's like, That's me right now. I'm thinking Ezra Miller just sucks some fucking dude in the face at a fucking PR meeting, and then everyone's like, yeah, Ezra Miller.
It's called
and he just starts smiling like Homelander, dude. Like, yes, I am redeemed.
Yeah, this guy's dude. Ezra Miller's a fucking stupid. Like, he'll get pulled over and punch a cop or something. There's no way he's not going to get in trouble again. But It's all going to be a retention arc.
Zero chance he's never getting in trouble again.
Yeah,
I'm giving him like 2 weeks. He'll do something stupid in the 2 weeks, bro.
And it's going to be
And I'm
something
telling you,
really
he
dumb.
punches
It's
someone
like
important.
he shot
Punch your
at a
mom.
candy bar, or
Yo,
he
even
somebody's
this
fucking
one,
puppy.
even this one, like out of all the things that he's done, he actually went to jail for stealing liquor out of someone's house.
Yeah.
Like,
tell you,
does
it's gonna be something dumb.
that compute to you guys? Like, out of all the things that he's done in the last like 2, 3, 4 months,
Not really, dude. There was a point.
The
when
one thing that he
Winona Ryder
went
to
down
jail
for.
stealing socks.
Hey,
I don't know if anybody remembers that. Winona Ryder had her life too.
Yeah, Al Capone did horrible things as a mob boss, but got arrested for tax evasion because it was a thing they could prove easily.
He died from syphilis, which is horrible. So yeah, he got what he had. He got
it.
Yeah, he got what he had coming to him.
Yeah, but we all know Winona Ryder from Stranger Things now. But back in the day, she would like go and like rob convenience stores or whatever just to have some excitement in her life or do some crazy shit. Because it's the thrill. It's the thrill, and then knowing you can get out, and or even maybe the idea of wanting to get out of that life that she was in, where she was just so famous and nothing could happen to her, that maybe she just was looking for an easier escape.
Yeah,
go to jail and not have to worry about anything, stay in prison, but they just got her out. So, I mean, there's a lot of things. And we're going to have to wait for the 45-minute documentary, 2-hour documentary of Ezra Miller. I've made it back in a flash or whatever. The Netflix is
back
series.
in a flash.
Yeah, mind you, you're going to have to subscribe to their platinum program to watch that.
Yeah, platinum program to get it. Yeah,
but for an additional fee of $5.99 a month, you can go ahead and watch that.
Discovery HBO Max.
I'll throw up.
Ezra Miller is a bad
I'll
person.
throw up.
Okay, so I must ask.
They're going to announce it, and Brian's going to call me pissed off.
You motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so I must ask, going on with the conversation, Mike, you're on the show now. Welcome as our special guest.
All right,
Welcome as our special guest through and through. What do you guys think? Okay, so we got a crazy reaction this past week for the Addams Family trailer, and I want to know what you guys believed in and what you guys saw, how you guys accepted it, what you guys really thought about it. I was thinking about doing a live reaction, but I know it's a little bit rough. Mike, you're on your cell phone. It's a little bit harder to do things when it comes to watching live reactions and videos and stuff like that. So we'll get past that. I believe we've all seen it probably, the trailer for the show, Netflix series. There's been some turmoil in the world. People are kind of going nutso because chubby Mexican guy playing
Mike, have you heard about the turmoil and backlash?
Luis Miguel, Luis Guzman, sorry. I'm gonna say my piece real quick about this.
Go ahead, go. I'm ready. Go.
This is the dumbest shit ever.
Yes.
People are pissed off that he's short and chubby and his hair looks that way. And I was like, but if you assholes had watched the cartoon or read the comic, that's what Gomez looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, Luis is an amazing actor. He gives his all to his fucking roles, his all. And I cannot comprehend how people are going to hate on this. When the fucking thing hasn't come out in true form of everything we consume in media, they hate it and nothing's come out.
Yes.
Ortega, who's playing Wednesday, she's spot fucking on. She may as well be bringing this energy to the character that I haven't seen since Christina Ricci did it the first time around.
Of course,
because she gave that serial killer mentality, yeah, but at the same time was unassuming and looked like she shouldn't be dangerous. You know, there's a lot of potential here, and people are hating on it too early. I mean, I know they all want Raul Julia. We all want that swashbuckling debonair, exotic, handsome man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but that's not what Gomez is or ever really was.
Ever was, yeah.
So
like that's the whole
the aspect of it. Like you look at Raul Julia, like he had the little buggy eyes too. Like he wasn't all that perfect looking in the sense of what Hollywood looks for, but he had that Spanish Pepe Le Pew, debonair Zorro-esque vibe, right? Now I'm on the fact I think in the comedy world
We think we're losing Chris.
I think we lost.
I found a job. I'm sorry, my internet's kind of been a little wonky, so I don't know if it's kind of in and out, right? Going back to what did you guys hear?
Raul, or you talking about Raul Julia about him being like
debonair?
Yeah. Okay, so So, like I was saying, I'm not really sold on Luis Gomez yet, or Luis. What's his last name? Fuck, I don't even remember his last name. That's how good I am at this.
I think it's Guzman.
Yeah, Luis Guzman. Like, I'm not a big fan of his yet. But then again, maybe this is going to be his step up performance where we get like a serious role from him and he carries a franchise. My selling point right now,
serious roles that were in that same vein. I mean, he did the Count of Monte Cristo, and he was the Count's right hand man. You know, and that's a role that fit into the swashbuckling, romantic talk. You know, that love language mentality. You know, my lord has come to rescue this maiden, and I will stand by his side. That's what Gomez Adams is. Really.
Yeah, it's the interpretation of his character.
The one that bothered me the most this week is somebody from, I remember it was a TMZ writer or a comic book news.com said, I don't know why we have so many Latinos playing Gomez Adams. It was like, the dude's name is Gomez.
Gomez.
Yeah, I mean, he's only a Hispanic person. I mean, I don't know why. Who knows? But the only thing is, like, for me right now, saving face, of course, is Tim Burton. Tim Burton is a gold person. He's like the Midas touch when it comes to how he does his films. So far with the trailer, I've got a lot of Umbrella Academy vibes. A lot of the shots remind me of like the first season of Umbrella Academy. Very like gothic-esque, emo-ish kind of vibes, which I'm a big fan of. I mean, I think those fucking shots are great. I was really blown away by the way it looks when they're like in the fencing scene. Okay. Like that one specifically reminded me very much of the Umbrella Academy, like where it's like a special academy where everybody's dressed the same, very Harry Potter-ish, but with a very dark, you know, gothic tone. Is it enough for me to be like, nah, that guy's gonna be shit? No, dude. I mean, I understand that there's a lot of hatred out there, which I just don't understand with. Here on the show, I think we've all kind of come to terms that we understand when people do like the gender swapping or the female to male character ratio or whatnot. We get that, or passing of terms or passing of titles or whatever. But you have to give it some type of like recollection to be able to save its own face. You can't judge it prior. You can't judge things prior just based on strictly what a trailer does. Because if anything, like Marvel's been amazing at making trailers and the shows come out not so great. You know, and then there's some that just the trailers suck and it knocks it out of the park. We're going to talk about a show later that did that to Brian this past week. And now he's 3 episodes in and he's like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm kind of sold on this. It's all right. It's not too bad, which we'll talk about that too. And you'll like that conversation, Mike. I 100% guarantee you will. But what do you guys think? are you guys looking forward to this? Do you think people are overreacting? Do you think it's a little weird? What do you guys feel?
So I know that Mike spoke his piece, and I cannot agree more with him. I think it's stupid. I think you know, people just want to talk to hear themselves speak, and like you said, his name is Gomez Adams, bro. Like, what else do you expect? And I'm a huge fan of the Adams family. And furthermore, I'm a huge fan of Luis Guzman. Like, I love him in Waiting. I love him in every fucking movie. I love him in fucking what's the fucking porno movie? Fucking
you're talking Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights. I love him in fucking Boogie Nights. I love him in everything that he's fucking in, bro. Like, I cannot be more happy. The fact that I get to turn on my TV and he's fucking Gomez Adams, like, that's so fucking cool. Like, that guy has been working his entire fucking life. I've watched him in fucking in gangster movies and porno movies and comedy movies, building his way for this one opportunity to where he can finally get that in-home recognition where he is welcome in every fucking household. And then at the same time, you still have these dickheads that want to tear him down for no reason. Yeah. Like, do you understand how long we've been watching him do the comedy sticks and the bullshit B and C and D movies?
Well, it's like I said off camera, where he's a Hispanic person who's taken the typecast of Hispanic roles all his life. Like, seriously, this is going to be the opportunity to play a Hispanic person that's not typecasted in a specific way that we're always seen in films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's good. I mean, it's great. But me myself, I haven't been a big fan of that type of comedy in those movies, so I'm not like a big fan of those.
So you weren't a big fan of Waiting? Waiting wasn't your
Waiting
thing?
was all right. Waiting was all right, but like it's just one of those like it's a college movie. Like to me, like it's just you watch it with a couple of your friends and that's it. Like you don't really look at it for the value of film. Like you know what I
That
mean?
movie is fucking genius. Have you ever worked in like a restaurant?
No, but that's not. I guess it doesn't recognize it for me. So
That movie is genius.
I
It
was-
literally
I
is
was-
fucking. That movie is
Yeah,
fucking
one of my first
genius.
job was working at a restaurant, and the cook staff had this initiation for all new busboys. And the initiation was that they would tell you the keg needed to be changed. So you had to go into the fucking freezer, go change whatever keg they needed. And you never knew why it had to be you, but you had to go. And then they would dry hump you in the fucking freezer. So
Hey, yo.
massive.
Hey, yo.
The only thing that saved me was I was much bigger than the other busboys. So I picked up the empty keg, and the guy tried to get a hold of me. I just gave him the damn keg. Like, here, take the fucking thing.
Yo,
Out.
and straight up, like we used to play the game that's in Waiting in college, which is the sack.
So you guys did that just on your own time,
on
your
our own
fun
fruition.
time.
We were getting each
Brad
other
and I
all
have
the
been
time.
here
Man.
assaulted working in the food industry, and Chris is out there showing his
Yeah,
junk.
I was showing my nuts to everybody, dude. I was getting everybody and punching everybody all over the place. I used to do this one called the buffet, dude. Here we go. And what I would do is I would go up to your door if you were in your room and I would knock on it, but I would like do a handstand and I just separate my legs on your door and I would knock on it. And when you'd open the door, I'd be like, buffet time. Yeah, dude, straight nuts in your face.
Right now, Chris, I'm never opening the door for you.
Oh, you better not, dude. You better not. I'm telling you, man. I was a master at the game. You can ask Raymond if you ever meet him.
Wait,
hold
up. Hold up.
okay.
Someone
Okay,
opens the door. Someone opens the door, and what do you say after that?
It's buffet time, man. It's straight up, and then it's just vergazos. You just get to punch everybody all day, and I would get everybody with it. You have no idea. So, Mike, you know Raymond Horta is one of my best friends. If you ever have a chance, if you ever have a chance,
that was funny.
and you get to see him before one of his shows, or you get to meet him at it, just tell him, hey, Chris Bunsen told me about the buffet and the game. What is he talking about? And he'll just start laughing. He's just gonna start fucking laughing. But as a matter of fact, I need to give a shout out to Raymond because right now his son, Epic Horta, is on a national mullet championship, and he is right now in like second and first place.
He's in first place as of this evening. Yeah, he's in first place that night.
A national youth mullet championship. Have you seen the news? Brian, can you hear me?
I can't hear him.
Oh shit! You can't hear me? Hello.
I can now. I hear you.
So Brian, have you heard of in the news that they're doing a national youth mullet championship?
The youth mullet championship.
Yeah. Have you heard about this? It's
That
all
sounds
over
like
the place. It's all over the place. Well, Raymond's
sounds
son,
like a fucking nightmare.
Raymond's son, my best friend's son, is in second place. Is in second place, bro. And his real name is Epic. Like Raymond named him Epic. So that's his fucking first name, Epic Horta. And he's in first place for a national mullet championship. Joe Dirt fucking went out there and reviewed all their hair, dude.
David Spain went live on TikTok.
I love it, dude. I love it. You got to check it out, man. But yeah, well, I mean, I'm understanding of who Luis Gomez is, or Luis Gutierrez, or what's his name? Luis Guzman.
He's tried everything. He's tried everyone.
Garza, Gonzalez, whatever they call him. And for me, and it's like the same thing with like the Hot Tub Time Machine and all that, Super Bad and Party at the End or At the End of the World or whatever. Like, I was just never really a big fan of those kind of shtick comedy movies.
Wait, you didn't like Hot Tub Time Machine?
No, I didn't really dig it. So I'm telling you.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like
the computer took such offense to what he said. That
some psychological.
Yo, I don't even know what to say to that, bro.
I'm telling you, my internet's all
Hot Tub Time Machine. Hot Tub Time Machine is a fucking national treasure, bro.
Is it?
It is.
You see, and I think your depiction of Hot Tub Time Machine in those films depends on your age range, because I think
that's true.
The Hot Tub Time Machine for me was Super Troopers.
Dude, I
Okay.
love Super Troopers. Fuck out of here.
I don't
dude.
I don't understand how you like Super Troopers, but you don't
Mike,
like.
I
the hot
almost
tub time
kidnapped
machine.
that dude when you guys brought him down for Collector's Mania.
Oh God, they were
I
pretty
almost
cool.
kidnapped his ass because he went to go eat at a gas station, and I saw him walking across the street, and I was gonna be like, "Oh, hey man, Pete told me to come and get you if you wanted to go eat," and I was just gonna kidnap his ass and just take him all over the valley.
You know the press releases I would have had to have written, Chris, if something like that had happened.
Yeah, I do, and that would have been fucking fantastic, dude.
Brian,
He
I was
he doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, dude,
Chris
I would've
doesn't
been like,
care.
we're gonna party. I'm gonna call a bunch of my friends. I'm gonna make them look like cartel members. I'm gonna take this guy on one of his movies, dude, in real life. It's gonna be nuts, dude. But nah, I didn't get
and
to
then
do
like
that.
3 days later, I would have gotten the call, Mikey, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to. I was like, God damn it, Chris.
He would have thanked you. He would have been like, "That was the greatest experience in my life." And you're gonna be like, "Fucking Chris, dude, fucking Chris." No, but straight up, I think the movie's gonna. I mean, Tim Burton does no wrong, and it's been a hot minute since we've got a badass Tim Burton movie, right?
You know, and he does give
Wait a minute.
enough respect to the source material that, you know, she makes her snide comments like she used to make in the original TV show, the comic, you know, even up to the, you know, 90s movies where like, oh, you want to take a stab at being social? Oh, I love stabbing. You know, those kind of, you know, I may murder you, I may not kind of jokes. So I'm excited for it. I'm definitely going to be tuning in, you know, but then you guys know I'm basically an entertainment slut. I will try everything. And
Yeah, we're gonna watch everything, man.
Yeah.
It's a good question that Robert asks. He says, "What do you guys think of like Uncle Fester?" So we had Christopher Lloyd play him in the original. Well, not the original, but like in the Raul Julia movie. Is there a possibility we might get Christopher Lloyd to make a comeback? I don't know. He's in a pretty older age that it's hard for him to get around, I'm guessing. But maybe we do, maybe. But Robert's hearing Johnny Depp for Uncle Fester. What do you guys think for this? And you know what? That doesn't sound too far-fetched from being, you know, right down Tim Burton's, you know, repertoire with him bringing back his wife and Johnny Depp for most of his films.
Yeah. And honestly, with the way he handles, you know, Jack Sparrow, the Mad Hatter, I mean, I can see him doing that.
Oh, dude, he can play anything, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he can play anything, but do you really need the exposure right now? Why don't you just like chill?
See, but that's a marketing push because right now Johnny Depp is so hot with
I
everybody.
get it, but personally, you can just chill. You don't have to go take everything just because you're hot right now and you're in high demand. You can like pick and choose your fucking shit. You don't have to be fucking. You don't have to be fucking Uncle Fester and fucking. And that's no disrespect to anyone playing Uncle Fester.
Yeah.
But as a Johnny Depp right now, you're at the fucking height of your popularity, and you're gonna go choose to do fucking Uncle Fester in fucking the Addams Family.
Hey, but we don't know that because we know Johnny Depp has always had Tim Burton's back.
Yeah, and here's
But
why.
listen to what I'm saying though. You're at the height of whatever popularity you could possibly be at, and the first role that you decided to do is be Uncle Fester in the Addams Family.
I mean, there's a lot of things we can go off of. Maybe he was the only person that had in Hollywood Johnny Depp's back during that in the very beginning.
His agent,
I think it's just to screw over Disney. Here's my thing.
Maybe,
So
yeah,
Disney offered him after all the controversy ended, and it's like, well, no, come back to be Jack Sparrow. We'll give you a reported $300 million or whatever the deal that supposedly didn't happen got on the table. I think Depp would do this, one, to help his buddy Tim Burton out, but two, to say, hey, fuck you, Disney. You took away the Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm going to do that just to be petty and spite you.
I understand
and he's gonna
that.
take however much Amber Heard is supposed to pay him back, and he's going to donate it to the place.
Yo, you think Amber Heard is paying him back? Listen, all right, I'm not even getting into that. I'm not even getting into that. I'm saying this to you. If I am Johnny Depp and I just went through an entire year of being on the news,
court,
battling in court with knowing that people shit in my bed and beat my fucking ass. If my agent comes back to me with my first role and says, hey, guess what I got for you? I have Uncle Fester in the Addams Family. I am fucking firing him, bro. On the spot. I don't care if it was Tim Burton. Tim Burton himself better fucking call me then. My agent better not come back to me and say, hey, I have Uncle Fester for you.
I think Tim Burton would call him.
Get
the say, hey, man, I really think you come back. And I really think that he would do it as like just from a place of love.
That's crazy to me.
I think
Fuck
Johnny Depp
Love.
would do it as from a place of love.
Fuck Love. Was fucking Tim Burton on his stand fighting for this motherfucker to get his fucking job back?
Oh no, but he would have. I think he would have.
Fuck out of here, bro.
He
man.
just doesn't have anything to do with that case, man.
I guess,
Fucking
man.
what was the dude's name from the dude that plays Vision? Fucking he got called.
Oh,
he didn't get on the
Bettany?
stand
Yeah,
either,
Bettany.
man. Yeah, he didn't get on the stand. He got called out too, man. Goddamn, he's like, go put my dirty laundry out there about all the coke addiction I had. Thanks, chick. Thanks,
Yep.
Amber Heard, stupid bitch. Like fucking goddamn, like that fucking chick, like literally just like she dude, snitches, man. Snitches get bed shitted or what? I don't know. I don't know how the saying goes anymore. But okay, guys, just to let you know, I mean, it's not really gonna happen in our department. We're too many Mexicans. We all love Mexicans, so that guy's not getting hate down here. For anybody out there listening to the radio waves, give it a chance. Stop judging early.
Oh yeah,
Stop.
and Mike said a great point. Like we haven't even seen it yet, bro.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. There's no
We
reason
haven't
that
fucking
people
seen
gotta
it
start acting up.
Why don't you fucking watch it first and then condemn this
And,
shit?
and then you can give your give it a chance. Give it a fucking chance.
Exactly.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. On with the next one. So, Mike, I know you're gonna like this.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here for this one, Mike.
I like how I got dragged out of bed for this, guys. Let's do this.
Yeah. You're in for it because this is right down your alley. I've got to catch up to the 5th episode, and Brian, who 100% was like, fuck that show. That looks stupid as fuck. When he saw the trailer, was like, I ain't gonna watch that shit. It's episode 3 of the SandMan. And I like it. I like.
Have you been watching it, Mike?
SandMan.
Mike, have you been watching it?
Man, Brian,
He read the comics. He knows.
I don't even know why I asked. I knew damn well
he
you were
knows.
fucking
I
watching
know
this
you're gonna
shit.
dig it, Mike.
Brian.
Oh, wait, all right.
Brian, you go first. I want to hear you first.
So before anyone asks me a question, I have to ask Mike a question. Have you watched all 11 episodes?
No, actually, my fiance and I are only on episode 6.
Okay,
so you're one episode.
That's a good.
Even perfect because we're about the same.
So
range.
now, so now you can ask me whatever question you want. So let's go.
So I want to know, what was the moment that changed your opinion on this show? Because the last time we spoke on this, you were unfamiliar with it, and you asked us to give you a sales pitch for it.
Yes.
And I explained that this is not only a comic series or a show that covered a character's journey, but it explained the way life and death and just the way we perceive our world exists.
And question, I will add on to this because we did a podcast where we live reacted for everything that was released at San Diego Comic-Con. And Brian and I saw the trailer, and Brian was like, not interested. Fuck that shit. Doesn't look good. Just doesn't catch me. And I was like, are you sure? It looks great. The cinematography looks good. He goes, no, it just doesn't catch my eye. Like, and no disrespect. Like, he's like, if it's a good story, it's a good story. It doesn't look like I'm gonna really be into it. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, all right. Then I told him.
When did it change your opinion?
All right. So today, actually, I was in our group chat as we usually are, talking, just shooting the shit. And Chris mentioned that SandMan has been really taking off.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you sure? Yeah. And he was like, nah, dude, like it's legit.
I told him that I was becoming more fascinated, that it's a really great character description. I'm not saying the story's great and the character development, but the lore is such a great build.
Okay.
And that it builds to the cinematography.
And that's where I'll jump in because I disagree with you. I think the story is fucking phenomenal. Yeah. I just think it's fucking too fucking long. Honestly, I think it's written correct. I think it's written perfectly. And the actors like this. There has been multiple times that I've been watching this show and I'm like, this should be a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like this should be on the big screen. Like this is phenomenal.
This is what it is.
The acting is top notch. Some of the best fucking acting on a TV show. Honestly, I just think I'm only on episode 3, and I just by midway through episode 3, I'm like, damn, this is a long episode. Like the episodes just kind of drag out. Like I don't mind something being dreary and depressing and monotone, and I don't mind it, but I kind of need to be pulled out once in a while.
I need to change pace.
This show does not pull you out. It keeps you down there the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
And that's the only critique that I have on the show. But other than that, it's a pretty decent show. It's probably going to take me a while to get to, because I can't watch too many episodes back in a row. I'll get fucking depressed. But I honestly feel as though like it'll take me some time, but I can get through this. Like it's dope. I like it.
Yeah, and honestly, the critique about it being a slow burn, in some parts, it's really on point for what the comic was, because the comic book wasn't dialogue and it wasn't action. It was atmosphere.
Mike, before you continue, I promise you, I'll let you continue. That I wanted to get that point out. This show plays like a comic book. That's what I appreciate the most about this. This fucking show plays like a comic, like you're reading a fucking comic.
And you know what's even crazier is like right now, just hearing you say atmospheric, that is a really perfect way to explain the vibes of like every episode. It's atmospheric. There's something about it that's whimsical. And that's what I'm very like fantasy driven. Like it's almost like a Lord of the Rings.
And that's where like, you get into what the
episodic
comic was doing with the dreaming, and and what he was with the immortals that he is. He is Dream, the SandMan, Morpheus. He is the being that allows you to rest, explore your passions, and they discuss this in the beginning episodes. They set that scene for you, and you see amazing things. I mean, and the big fantasy nerd that I am, like, oh, the dragon and the gargoyle and all these things that I remember. And I remember holding those comics and going page to page and just being stuck on this highly stylized art that kept you engrossed, because they don't say much. There's not these huge Shakespearean dialogue
pages.
Yeah.
It's to the point. It explains what's happening, and it's for you to interpret. The same way, at least when I was reading the book back in the 90s. Goddamn, I'm old. When I was reading the book back then, everything was open to interpretation. The way I understood what the Corinthian was, the way I understood how Morpheus traveled from realm to realm, his ravens, all these characters, although I could see a physical representation, for me, it felt like if I was to go to bed tonight and dream, I would see something else, because I would interpret it some other way. And that's what I think this series does for us. That allows us to see what's face value. But at the same time, you get to remember, hey, what were your nightmares? And now I believe, at least by episode 3, that nightmares can live in the real world compared to the waking world compared to the dreaming. So, there's this level of what if that can be real, anything can be real. And that's that adventure, that excitement, that fantasy that I think Chris gives to it.
And it's very cool because the storytelling aspect of this series is very cool and whimsical, because this is literally based in the same universe as The Flash, Superman, Batman, all of this. While Batman is out there saving Gotham City, Constantine's cousin comes out, which is Constantine's a huge player in the DC universe. So like just to see all gods and mythological like lure creatures coming out, like, and embarking on this journey, like it kind of opens a whole other, like, to me, they're explaining the spiritual realm better than Marvel explains the cosmic realm.
Yeah, but that's I think that attributes more to Neil Gaiman.
But you're barely on the 3rd episode, so that's why for me I'm on the 5th. So like it's very interesting, like how it's opened up the whole like spiritual realm. So my bad. Sorry,
Brian, you're going to start seeing some crazy things happening.
No, I already know that I'm going to start seeing some crazy things. I just don't want to get caught up in the realm of trying to gauge this off of anything Marvel is doing. Like, I'm
just saying that the storytelling aspect of this film or this series, has told a better story of this realm than the way Marvel tried to explain the cosmic realms to us, in my opinion. So, like right now, I am honestly fascinated Like with
It's
this
just,
realm.
it's definitely. I will give you this. I will say that is definitely one of the more fascinating scripts from the WB. When it comes to DC, it is one of the most fascinating scripts. I think it's written. I don't want to say perfect because I don't think anything's perfect, but I think it's written very well.
Very well.
It's executed greatly. There's some really good actors that you will know in this show. So if you're on, if you're debating whether or not you want to watch this or not, like I would just say just go ahead and do it because
Look,
like
let me put it out there. Today, out of nowhere, they released a bonus episode.
Yeah, the 11th episode.
And James McAvoy's in it. Fucking Charles Xavier's in it. And Dave Tennant, who is Doctor Who.
I just don't want any spoilers, Chris.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I haven't even seen the episode myself. I just know that out of nowhere, no one knew this episode was coming out. And they just released an episode. And it doesn't even give you the idea that they've been renewed for a season 2 or nothing. They just, here's another episode. Fuck it.
Yeah, because officially they have not. They haven't been greenlit for anything.
Yeah,
Yo, like, this show is so good. There is 0% chance they get a second season. That's how this universe works.
You think so?
This is how this universe works.
Damn, that would suck if they didn't, because it's so.
That's good. How this shit plays out. Like when you get a good show like this, it just doesn't. For some reason, it just gets taken away from you, bro.
Yeah,
yeah. I do think that we are going to lose SandMan for a while. Whether Netflix brings it back years from now or whatever, they're going to focus on their big hitters. We'll get Stranger Things back before anything else, and all that jazz. Maybe Neil Gaiman shops it to Amazon because they renewed Good Omens for season 2, which I'm excited for.
He was a writer for Omens.
It's a good show. Good Omens.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman wrote the book Good Omens. He wrote the book American Gods. He wrote the SandMan comic. Yeah, he wrote Anansi Boys. He wrote the book Stardust, which we saw as a feature film in the early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s.
He's written a lot of things, and the vast bulk of his writing
is all fantasy stuff.
Yeah, it's all
magic and spirituality realm.
Fantasy, spirituality, and dark urban modernism. It's really weird. Like my favorite line from Good Omens is that Earth is a Libra. And it goes on to explain when the Earth was created and how it does everything. And it's this ridiculous thing. I don't know. If you haven't watched Good Omens, by all means, go watch anything that has Neil Gaiman's name attached to it.
More than likely, I'm going to finish SandMan this weekend.
Me too.
I'm going to knock it out. So far, I'm on the 5th episode, which is, I'm just going to say it's the cafe episode.
Yeah.
So far, it has been the hell episode. I'm sorry if I got cut out. So my favorite episode so far has been the hell episode.
I haven't seen it. What episode is that?
That should actually be the 4th episode.
Yeah, it should be episode 4.
Yeah,
I know. That's where he wants to go because that's where his. Don't tell me, but that's where his helm. That's where his helm is.
Helm is.
His helm is in hell, so he has to go get it, and I'm looking forward to that 1000%.
It's a really interesting episode, but it's just that like the way it all comes to like a conclusion. If you're a DC fan, you know why it hits so hard. Like, and you're going to know what it is. You're exactly going to know what it is. But the actor that's in it that plays Lucifer is amazing. And my question was, and Bobby, my brother, asked me this off camera earlier, and he's like, yo, the Lucifer in this, would you consider it to be like an avatar for the Russian guy who played Lucifer in Constantine? And I was like, 100%. 100%. Really? They literally give off the same vibes. It's so good. Lucifer in this one is so great. The world building of hell is very interesting and amazing. So far been my best episode. So nice. my brother says the 8th episode is fucking fire though.
Really?
So I don't know, Mike, have you gotten that far yet or no?
I've not. Episode 6, we had to stop because we had to catch up on I've been watching Fort Salem.
Yo, those episodes are way too fucking long, bro. Those episodes like 30 minutes. 30 minutes tops, bro.
Yeah, no, I had to catch up on a lot of damn shows this week. That I'm going to be starting Dota, Dragon's Blood Book 3 on Netflix also.
Oh, shit.
I love that anime.
Yeah, Dota. Yeah, you were telling me about it. You wanted a cosplay one of the characters, remember?
Yeah, and if I could ever get Chris to build me the damn cosplay, I'd totally rock it.
Darius, right now we're talking a little bit of Sandman. I myself have gotten up to episode 5. Brian jumped in on it. He was kind of on the ropes about it, but now he's kind of sold on it a little bit, so he's a little bit more excited about it. He's on episode 3, and our friend Michael Betancourt is on episode 6.
5.
So
I'm gonna start episode.
Let us know in the comments what you think so far. No spoilers though. No spoilers, please.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think so far. So far, it's really good.
Yo,
me,
can I ask you guys? Can I ask you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. Most definitely.
Can I ask you a question? Just on the in the spectrum of things that we're watching. Have you guys watched Day Shift on Netflix? The Jamie Foxx movie with the vampire shit.
I want to give my favorite line.
I just saw like a clip of the first half, which is the old woman scene. And I was like, dude, Chris, I'm missing out, man. What am I not watching this?
Dude, you have to watch that movie.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna fucking watch it.
It's so ridiculous, but the action is so good.
Brian, I'm gonna ruin it for Chris because I have to talk about it.
It's so good.
Talking about this one scene in this movie all fucking week since I watched it. So they're fighting a nest of vampires, right? And a vampire kicks the living shit out of Jamie Foxx and launches him up the stairwell with the kick. So I paused the fucking movie. I look at my fiance. He's like, "Did that motherfucker just kick him up the stairs?" So we unpause it, and then Jamie Foxx picks himself up and says, "Did that motherfucker just kick me up the stairs?" It's like, "Oh,
he answered your question."
Yes.
That's some meta
that movie's all. I think you would like the action in it.
Yo, I saw him fighting an old woman, and I saw that old woman like doing some crazy, and I was like, I have to watch this shit. I have to watch this motherfucker. So yeah, I'm gonna be watching that tonight. But
the action is great, yo.
So far, just for anybody that's watching, guys, rate Sandman 1 out of 10 so far this series from where you're at.
Mike, for me right now, just because there are some changes to the comic book, and I'm a comic book nerd, I will give this a solid 8.5 because it's damn near perfect. But I haven't seen the entire thing yet, so I don't want to give it a final score.
If you take 15 minutes off of it, it's probably a 10 out of 10 for me. But I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be in the 8 also. I'll probably have like for me, I'm probably gonna be like an 8.5. For me, I'm a really big fan of great storytelling and lore building, and I think they're building a great pantheon of characters from a different realm that sit above human beings and humanity and the spirituality thing. I'm interested in every character they introduced and how they interact with the human beings. It kind of like, it's almost like a lighter, like a American Gods was written.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it kind of gives me this really great character building, and I'm really digging it. Well, lore building more than character building, because I wasn't a big fan of the diner scene.
Yeah, as far as
I thought that was kind of like drug out.
I would like to draw attention to the way Dream handles his imprisonment. You know, he doesn't choose to fight and bang and try to shatter things and overpower, but he was gonna sit there.
He was gonna sit there forever.
Yeah, I'm not talking. They're asking me things that I cannot give them, so I choose not to speak.
Yeah,
and that's a whole level of
how unfortunate was that? Like the guy went looking for the angel of death and gets this
and gets fucking dreamed.
Get this schmuck, and now he just has to sit here for the next fucking 30
and he's
years.
Like, I got his dumb cousin. It's just
dumb
this
luck
dude's
was
just
that?
sitting there like, where the hell am I? Where's my stuff? Why am I naked in this bubble? Like, it was funny, dude. It was good. The show's just great. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. Netflix, The Sandman, great stuff. Into their last conversation. Mike, I know you don't got a lot of time left. Brian, I know you're like, yo, we're almost done. Let's throw this down. I think it was the Ezra Miller thing that really caught on to us. We didn't think we long that weirdo. And we brought Mike in talking about that weirdo too. So we got things to talk about. But we have to ask, guys, we finally got to this time in life in Marvel. We got the release of Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk episode 1. Tell me what you guys think so far. Give it to me.
Mike, have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, what are your thoughts on the first episode?
This is not going to be a traditional superhero show. This will be a lawyer show first with superhero shit attached. And I'm here for it. It's different and it's fresh, and it's going to give us a look at heroes and villains that we weren't getting before. I mean, the dynamic between her and Bruce, I enjoyed. You know, it wasn't that she was better than him. She just had, different ways to handle things.
Yeah.
And
She just wasn't taking it serious.
Yeah, you know, there was a relaxed nature to it, and you see that happening. I've had people that, you know, we're in horrible situations, and you should be nervous as hell. You know, you should not function the way you're doing, but they could give a shit, and since they have zero fucks to give, they're just fine. Everything's going great for them. You know, and I think that's what you're seeing here. And there's a realm open for the show to do some really crazy stuff.
Okay, Brian, are you gonna go next?
Yeah, I know you and I spoke, you know, throughout the week about this. I'm a fan. I think, you know, what I've realized is like when there's a show where I don't have any type of anticipation for, I end up liking the show.
Yeah, because
Like
you don't really have anything to really base it on.
Yeah, if I don't have anything to look forward to, or if I'm not anticipating this being something that's gonna blow my socks off, I end up liking the show. This was enjoyable to me. I know a lot of people, I've been reading online, a lot of people having their problems with it, but I love the dynamic between Bruce and his cousin. Like I love the fact that we got a Hulk versus Hulk fight, and it was just like a cousin fight, but it was a fight in general. I love the story about Tony bitching about Captain America while building the fucking bar. Like I love that shit, and like all of it just came together. It was a great episode, and honestly, what has me looking forward to the next episode is that I heard like this, out of the first 4 that were released to the press, this was probably the weakest one out of all of them. So if this is the weakest one, I enjoyed this episode. So like I have nothing to. This is gonna be great for me.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I thought it was good. I thought it was casual. I had a good time with it. I think the jokes were funny, very Marvel-esque. I do like what you said about how he kind of reminisces about Tony because he's still in that mourning of losing a friend. So it's him kind of like, you can almost hear it like it's his way of coping. Like he's like, oh, I remember this. Like Tony said he would come back and, you know, he'd take it from me one day.
And we've never seen that. We never saw the Hulk actually like have to that feeling of losing. They were they were cool, like they were tight as fuck.
Tight, yeah.
There was this one part where like in the beginning when he first mentioned Tony, he gave a look like, "Fuck, man, that's my boy, dude."
That's
like,
my boy. Yeah, like he
like lost him. Yeah. Like it was so dope, though.
And what that moment did for me, especially as a comic fan, it reminded me of. A matter of fact, it's been making the rounds on social media lately. A scene from One More Day, I believe, is the comic with Spider-Man.
Where he loses that May.
Yeah, he sold his
he sold to
his life and everything to
Mephisto.
And he erased everything. And Spider-Man goes to hug the Hulk to make sure the Hulk is okay. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Well, I just thought you needed a hug." And he was like, "Well, Parker." And he starts calling him Peter.
Yeah, he calls him Peter.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, how do you remember?" He's like, "Well, you had Mephisto erase you from everybody, and Banner forgot." But Hulk never forgets.
Hulk doesn't forget.
Yeah, and that's that emotion that you don't get to see very often in superhero products. Because the hero's journey doesn't allow for emotion. You know, the stereotypical Superman kind of a story.
Yeah, you can't show your emotions.
Yeah, you can't.
No weakness.
So that's what we get to see in Hulk. Because Hulk is nothing but emotion. And in the comics, that's what we're supposed to experience. All these different Hulks and all these different storylines are him dealing with his trauma.
Yeah.
And that interaction with him, remembering Tony and dealing with that, I think was a beautiful way to start this series, because Jennifer is going to go through some hell. You know, even in the comics, you know, she has her own trauma. She has her own world to get accustomed to, and people are going to take advantage of her, even for as big and bad as she is. In the comics, they use and abuse her because, oh, now she's hot. Oh, now she's 7 feet tall. Oh, now you can just move your car, and now you can come do my products, and you're a face for this now. And there's going to be a lot of things that I'm excited to see.
Well, we're going to see how they're going to handle it, because none of that's been established in the film yet, or in the series. So far, I'm not a big fan of the fourth wall break, because I've been kind of overdone with disposition or exposition from Marvel characters having to explain stuff to me, which was like Korg in the entire fucking Thor Love and Thunder movie. And then the movie, this TV show, started off with her literally having to explain everything, which was like, hey, why is the Hulk's arm not healed? why is a Sicarian ship out of nowhere? How's he going to get back if they want to do World War? Like everything was just like, it was the Solo movie all over again, where everything was just answered physically in front of me, everything by words and stuff.
Can
I wasn't a big fan of that.
Can we theorize? I want to get into like the theory tank with you guys really quick.
Yeah.
I want to know, what are your theories on why the Sicarian ship was there?
I think they just did it like because it didn't matter anyways because they were like, oh, that was a Sicarian Class A ship. Well, I'll just deal with that later. Like I was like, well, why the fuck?
No. He explained they were probably here to send a message. He said that specifically. So there was a message that needed to be sent to the Hulk, and he's going to get to it later. Mike, do you have any theories as to why the Sicarian ship was there?
My theory is when Thor and Ragnarok goes through that wormhole and all that, time passes. There's a chunk of time he loses. Yeah, so I think that the person either in that ship or the person sending that message is Scar. I think it's Hulk's son.
Oh, I hope
we're going to get a long period of time that Hulk was on that planet, and he knocks somebody up, whether it's the old wise like we have in the comic or something else. I do think we're going to get Scar, and that's going to explain World War Hulk.
So I heard from multiple sources that everyone in the MCU is getting a son, and so is the Hulk, and that might be what this is happening. Is that there a message?
We haven't even got a Hulk yet. Like
a message is being sent to the Hulk that him wanging and banging out there on Sakaar. He's got a kid coming, bro.
Yeah, because honestly, he was top gladiator out there, and I mean he's going to be rewarded somehow. You know, the Grandmaster's going to want to keep his best fighter happy, so that's good food, good booze, and
just
good
all
sex.
the orgies all the time.
Yeah, so like whoever was thinking, but the Young Avengers, they're coming and hot. They're coming fast, bro. They're coming in real fast.
But Sakaar was never in the Young.
He will be in this one though. Well, Hulkling, right?
Yeah,
Hulkling
was a Kree.
Yeah, Hulkling, but he's not. Yeah, Hulkling is actually he's like a Kree hybrid or something like that. I forgot what it was. Yeah, but that the Hulkling's not casually related. He's just he can change like shapeshift and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I do think he's part Kree, part Skrull, isn't he? Isn't that what Hulkling is? And he took the form of the Hulk to
because he's green.
The original Hulk.
Yeah, because he's green. So he just figured like, oh, I can be a Hulk. I can be a Hulk. Yeah, I'm green. So I don't know, man. I think it'd be like a cheap knockoff kind of thing if they brought Scar in, because if you think about it, it hasn't been that long. I mean, it was Thor Ragnarok right before Endgame. It had to have been like 3 years. So his kid's like 3 years old. But he's flying a plane and coming to get his dad.
And then a blimp. And then a blimp. So 5 years added to that as well.
Yeah, 5. He's barely 12.
Yeah.
7,
but
8,
mind
9
you,
years
we
old.
don't know what race or species of alien.
Yeah, and how fast he grows. Yeah, we don't know any of that shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could chalk it up for any weird Rick and Morty writing thing. But, like, they never really give you that idea that any of that even happened. Like, it's
but remember that Ragnarok wasn't Hulk's film, so we're only gonna get the Hulk that makes sense for the Thor story being pushed forward.
Yeah, Chris is never gonna let that go. He's never gonna let that go.
I 100% think that the MCU cannot pull off a proper World War Hulk film, and I know that's what they're pushing for, because I'll tell you right now, theorizing, the reason why they're trying to get him back on Sakaar is because whoever took over after the Grandmaster is going to be the Red King. Like,
okay, all right. I understand your thoughts about Planet Hulk. But what do you say to like the whole, what was it, 1 year, 2 years that he was on Sakaar before we even got? Yeah, like, dude, you don't care about that. Yeah, so that's your story right there. Like, that's your Planet Hulk story right there. He was on Sakaar
for Planet Hulk, but the Grandmaster was the champion. Like, the Hulk was just cool. Like, he was comfortable where he was. In the original story, when the Red King was literally walking Phoenix and Gladiator, like, he was like, yo, I got to kill this dude. I need someone to fuck him up, like, in prison, because I cannot let him win. Because if he wins, I got to fight that fucking dude. I don't want to fight.
Yeah, which in the comic, the whole Silver Savage thing was the most cool thing ever back in the day.
Yeah, and not only that, he was purposely using these, like, parasites to fuck up his people so that he can find the strongest person to stop the prophecy, which is the wife.
Yeah.
So her bloodline stops those things from pushing through. He wiped out entire races of people so that he could be king. It's crazy politics story. It's a really great story.
I do see what Brian's saying, and I do agree that it will be the retcon, that he's going to get back to Sakaar, and we're going to get a quick blip of this is all that happened while you were gone. And then the Red King is already in power because the Grandmaster hasn't been there anymore. And now we're going to get Planet Hulk and Hulk stuck in the gladiatorial arena again. And we're going to get that story.
Do you think it works if he goes back into the arena?
I do think so with the generic MCU fan. For us comic fans that are stuck in our ways, we're going to be frustrated. But for the general audience, they're going to be excited for a return to the arena, get MC to fight some new things. Maybe now that Fox has lost rights to Fantastic Four, maybe we'll get the Silver Savage in this, and we'll get these little introductions that we weren't getting anywhere else. Maybe.
Shit. Okay, well, going back, because I don't want to get into a World War Hulk discussion, because I don't want to shit all over Marvel.
I love it.
I don't want to shit all over it too much. She-Hulk, going back to She-Hulk, I think it's okay. I'm not really sold on it too much. Like I said, there was a lot of disposition. The comedy between her and Banner was really fun. I think the jokes they were landing, I think the Captain America thing was it was funny. It's kind of like the same shit we talk about when we're like, oh, dude, Cap's going to come back as evil. Like, it's just banter. Like, it's good banter.
It's definitely good banter. I enjoyed it, to be honest with you. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. I honestly didn't think that after watching the first episode, I was gonna be like, oh, well, I can't wait to see what's next. But even I know a lot of people were giving a lot of shit for the show, saying that the post-credit scene was more interesting than the show itself. I don't like that take. I think the episode was great, and the post-credit scene,
I think it worked together. The post-credit scene, it added to it. Yeah, I think it worked. It worked in theme with what was going on. My thing is, I hated the fucking fight scene.
Why?
Okay. She walks into she's in the courtroom. She's about to give her disposition.
Oh, at the end, the fight scene. Yes, I thought you meant Hulk.
No, not the Hulk. The Hulk and She-Hulk fight scene, that was fun. That was cool. That was cool. And then you see little bits and parts of like him slowly degrading back to the Thor Ragnarok Hulk. Like, oh, you broke my bar. And then later on, she's like, you can go back and be a lawyer if you want. Like, that's the same shit he told the Thor. Like, go back to Earth. I don't want to go. No one likes the Hulk. Like, you can see there's little parts where he's not always in control. Like, you can see the suffering that he goes through, because all it takes is a little bit for him to go back. Like, that's all it takes. And they show that. And I really dig that. The Titania fight scene in the courtroom was complete other fucking garbage.
Yo, that fight scene was like fucking 10 seconds long. Let
me ask you. Why? Why did that happen?
Because it wanted to show that she was in control.
No. Why did Titania bust into the courtroom?
Well, we don't know. This is the first. We don't know. What if she becomes a client of Jennifer Walters?
Why with all the CG they have, why did they use that weird ass stunt kick at the end of the shot?
Chris, we don't know yet. So why don't we find out first, and then we can answer that? Like, we don't know. Like, what if she becomes a client of Jennifer Walters?
And from a comic book standpoint, the weird ass flying kick makes sense. Titania is an untrained, untried villain. She was a Doom girl. Doom superpowered her in the comic books, gave her these abilities, and she goes in half-assed trying to be
that was like a straight Liu Kang flying Mortal Kombat sidekick, no physics, just wires holding onto her, going sideways on a dolly. Like, that was.
I'm more surprised. Bad. I'm more surprised that you're not more confused at Jennifer Walters' punch than fucking the fucking kick. Like, Jennifer Walters has no type of training whatsoever when it comes to fighting, but she hit like a perfect fucking block punch to a flying kick, and you don't even bat an eye about that shit.
No, the side kick was fine, or the her throwing a punch, fine. The chick throwing a kick, fine. the style and how they did the stunt looked like shit. And this is coming off of the cusp of us talking about how they ruined it with CG in the trailer and then putting an action sequence like that.
I personally took it as a style choice with what that character is, because Titania is a ridiculous villain throughout the comics. She always has been, even moonlighting as an anti-hero for a while. She's just silly.
Yeah.
So seeing that style of kick, seeing what she's trying to show off, it's just ego. She's trying to be cool, and that's what you see, this ridiculous, unnecessary move come out, and it fits for me with the character.
I just, for me, it's the way it's shot. I think it's just really bad stunt work and really bad wire work. It just didn't look good to me. It looked very 1990s kung fu movie, like fucking fucking ninja. Like
No,
it looked like a Power Ranger, like the Power Ranger Tommy kick when he fucking. You remember what I'm talking about? When he's like,
Yeah,
that's exactly the fucking way it looked when he's kicking rock monsters and shit.
Yeah, I will leave it at this. Jamila Jamil looked awesome as Titania.
Everybody looked fucking great.
Woman,
she looked horrible, by the way. Like whoever designed that outfit did her no favors, bro. Like they shit on her.
But that's the thing. She's supposed to be like this outrageous wrestler character.
Yeah, but
and she looked like a fucking WWE.
I want you to do me a favor right now. I want you to go on Google and Google what Titania looks like.
Are you talking about comic book accurate?
Yes.
Oh yeah, she looks fucking awesome in the comics, but that's years. You should look at her back in the 70s, man. Like,
no,
she did not look cool in the 70s.
Back in the 70s.
I mean, she didn't look
look
that
at
great,
her,
man. And then it's like, but it's like you said too. Like this is like the first time we're gonna see her. This isn't like her final costume. Same thing with Jennifer Walters. Like she's not just gonna be wearing a skirt and take off her shoes.
So
like,
I'm
she'll
not
get her purple and black costume, I guess.
I'm not questioning the scene. You're questioning the scene. I'm saying
the only thing that I'm questioning, I'm not even questioning it. I just said I thought it looked like shit. Because the girl breaks into the wall. The chick's like, yo, change into the Hulk.
Yeah.
She just changes into the Hulk. Titania's like, who are you? I'm Jennifer Walters. And then like the scene like objectively changes direction, and she's like on another side of the courtroom throwing a table, and then she catches a table. Titania does the shittiest looking fucking stunt jump kick out of any Marvel fucking movie. We're gonna get Daredevil in like fucking 4 episodes doing a fucking flying jumping front fucking flip, and that's what we're gonna do as a kick. Like the Tommy fucking it looked really bad. To me, that stunt looked really bad. And that's all I'm saying. That stunt, that fight scene, stupid as fuck. Everything else, fantastic. I thought it was cool.
You have a whole show where they're trying to make 2 CGI characters fucking walk and talk, and you want to point out the one flying kick from a fucking chick, the one flying kick that just stuck out to you. Come on, bro.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That was done with a real human body.
Come on, Chris. Cut him a break, man.
Look at all the shit that Marvel. You said it in the first trailer. They have all the money in the world, and there's no reason they should have fucked up that CG in the first trailer.
All right, and they fixed it.
And they couldn't fix a fucking stunt like that. That looked like ass. That looked like ass. That stunt looked like ass to me.
My friend, are just fucking.
I'm gonna beam that shit. I'm gonna
cannot be pleased. You can't be pleased, bro. I realized you can't be pleased, man. There's no way, bro. No way.
I want it to be good. That's all. That was like the weirdest stunt that I've ever seen. Like the fight scene itself. Like I expected. Like okay, the fight scene itself between the Hulk and Jennifer Walters was pretty badass. Pretty badass through and through. And that's the way they finished it. Like that's the way they brought the pinnacle of that episode. Like the most like weird all over the place scenes that are just cut. Like it looked like it's edited in iMovie. Like it just it didn't feel good.
Now you're just being a dick. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
it didn't look like it was in fucking iPhone, bro.
No, but straight, I was not pleased with the last fight scene. I felt like it was. I think they just rushed that last part. That's all. Okay. I think that in the next episode we should get some type of like explanation of what's going on. Like the thing is, I don't want to wait a fucking week for that type of explanation, man. Like we got Moon Knight and we didn't get that type of action in the first film. Like, and we had to wait all that shit to get answers for some stupid shit we didn't need. And
So
I
if you
don't
just
want this show to suffer from the same shit.
So I'm just saying, if you're mad at the other content creators for getting the first 4 episodes and you didn't, then just say that.
No, I'm not. I don't think this fight scene was good at the end. 100%.
It sounded like you're a little bit salty about the content creators getting their first 4 episodes. And you
100%.
didn't.
I will give it to Brian. That sounded like a
100%.
at a moment.
It sounded a little salty.
No, I'm going to
Just
tell you
saying.
exactly. I'm jaded as fuck. I'm jaded as fuck. And the reason why is because I have to wait a week to get some kind of disposition of what was going on in that last part. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should have been like, maybe like a little news report in the credits that's like newspaper. Titania stopped after stopping from, I'm my guess, someone was on trial that needed to get out.
Yeah.
That's it. Like a mob boss or whatever. It's just a typical shit in writing. But it's just, I have to wait a week for this.
Yeah. My guess is that she's a plant from the law firm to show that she's a lawyer and a hero.
Yeah. This is like the Tony Stark origin. I'm Iron Man moment for her, right? And I get that. And it was cool. I think the whole her coming out at the very beginning, first episode, got that shit out. Fantastic. Now I know the whole season is going to be the repercussions of her coming out to society and everybody knowing. I'm about that. The lawyer aspect, cool. I like the approach. The actress did a fantastic job. I wonder how much. Do you think are we gonna get any more Mark Ruffalo in the show, or is that it?
I think so. Honestly, I don't know for a fact.
I know that they said like bye to each other at the end, and I was kind of like, oh man.
There's gonna be a lot of cameos. I know Wong is gonna be
he's like prominently in the
visible in this. I know Daredevil obviously is gonna be.
We have Emil Blonsky as Abomination.
Abomination. I'm excited to see him. He's a good actor.
There's gonna be a lot of people in this show.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited. I know that there might be a possibility that this might be the only Hulk cameo we get, just to be able to get people to come and watch the show. We do understand that there was a large, there's a lot of hate. Apparently, the show.
Apparently, this episode with the Hulk was supposed to be episode 8. It's supposed to be like at the end of the series where they gave like the origin story. You weren't supposed to get your origin like this. This show itself had a lot of reshoots, and this episode was supposed to be like episode 8. And then somebody stepped in and was like, "No, we cannot have the origin story at 8. Like we need to put that."
You know what? That's probably why that Titania scene came out that way, where it's not really explained. Then, right?
Yeah. I
mean, that makes more sense. It's probably more established in maybe like a 2 or 3 episode, and that's why she just rushes in very brash, and no one's like, oh no, who is this person? They're just like, well, go do your thing. Go stop her. Go. And it's like they were already comfortable that she could, kind of thing. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I didn't know that. Know that. So that makes more sense. So for that being done, like I don't see it as bad because I understand that they suffered then from a lot of the reshoot problems and all that stuff. And the moving of the origin story back to the beginning, I think it was done fairly well because it just gets out of the fucking way. Like, I don't want it to be an 8-episode origin story because I don't need that. Even the idea of them like going through the origin story of her, I'm so much more happier that they just like fight by Nick. That they were just like, whoops, he got cut. Whoops, blood landed on him. Whoops, there you go. She's the Hulk. Go for it. Hey, I synthesized your blood. Your blood's cool like mine. You can Hulk. No one else can do it. Bet. Let's go. I don't need it to be like a huge like 8-episode thing. Fuck yeah, cool. What do we rate episode 1? We can't really do too much for the season, but what do you rate this episode and the start of it?
Mike?
I'm going to give it, from the way it started and what we've seen so far, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Okay. Just because it was lacking some things. As a comic fan, I wanted to see some things that I didn't get to see. But at the same time, there's a lot of potential, and I'm here for it. I'll watch every damn episode.
Okay, Brian?
I probably give it like I mean, if you give it a 7, I kind of feel like the way that I liked it, I had to give it a little bit more than that, maybe like a 7.5.
Yeah.
I definitely just like where they're going with this. Again, I wasn't anticipating this the show, and it's turning out to be a surprise. So the acting, the dynamic, in the first episode with Bruce and what's her face? Fucking Jennifer. I love it, dude.
Yeah,
I
their
love
dynamic
it.
was good.
Yeah.
For me, it's probably gonna be about a 7. Also, I'll give it like a 7. I'm not gonna go low on that either. I think 7 solid. For what it's worth, I don't think it's all that bad. I know a lot of people are out there shitting on it that it's like, oh, women this and woke that, and it's like, nah, dude, you're just being a bitch. Like it's a good show. It's a good show. Like it's all right. Like it's not the best thing Marvel's put out, but it gives you enough volume and dynamic that it's not the same shit over and over again.
Mhm.
Like we do have to understand that the Netflix shows are now a part of this universe, and there's no way any of these shows are going to top what Daredevil did. Like the original Netflix Daredevil. There's no way. There's no way the Loki, the Wanda, like there's no way they're going to be able to touch what Daredevil did. That was raw. It was unadulterated. It was fucking strong. It was violent. It was gritty. It was everything that people have been wanting in the Marvel universe. Now we know they're going to have to change that pace for Daredevil, Luke Cage, Punisher, and all these people when they come in. So we do understand we're going to get a different Daredevil, but I think this can be a really good glue to bring in those characters. Like having it to where a Hulk-esque superhero is initiatingly bringing in Daredevil because she can handle his shit. You know what I mean? And she can kind of be funny without being in danger. As long as they don't do to Daredevil what they did to Kingpin in the other one, like I'll be okay. So I was really not liking what they did with him in the Kate Bishop show, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, but I give it a solid 10. I'm excited to see where they go from here. I want a little bit more flesh out. I think for what they were able to pull off with the CG in the first episode, it makes me pretty excited for the rest of the series because it wasn't that bad. It wasn't super crazy for a television show. It kind of met our expectations from what we saw in the trailer and how we thought it was going to be. Oh man, this looks like a fucking train wreck. Compared to now that we see it, and it's like, hey, you know what? It's not too bad. I can work with this. So far, 7 out of 10. Guys and girls out in the wavelengths in the radio world, what do you guys think? How did you guys like She-Hulk? Did you guys dig it? Did you guys not like it? Are you part of this whole crazy thing that's hurting Adam's family and everything else out there? Let us know in the comments. What did you think of Adam's family? And what did you think of SandMan? Are you pleased with Ezra Miller and his apology, and are you ready to accept him back into society as a normal functioning human being? Or do you want this motherfucker locked away and throw away the key? Let us know in the comments. Hit us up in the DMs. Let us know during the week what you guys want us to cover. We love every one of you. Thank you to all of our extraordinary listeners for tuning in again on this Friday night. We appreciate every one of you. Stay cool. Michael, thank you so much for jumping in real crazy last minute. We appreciate you. You look tired as fuck. You look like you're ready to just roll under a bunch of blankets and go right to sleep and dream of Hulk.
It's been nonstop of contracts and negotiations all day. I need sleep.
Jennifer's monologue was pretty cool. It was interesting. It was an interesting dynamic to break the fourth wall. I'm not really too big of a fan of it yet, but we'll see how it comes out. It wasn't too crazy. It gives us a really cool dynamic onto hopefully what Deadpool will be able to do. So, yeah, so far so good. 7 out of 10. We'll see you guys again next week. Thank you guys for tuning in here on the Average Boys Podcast. Peace. We love you. We'll see you again next week. Peace.